Alrighty, let's see if I can remember all the welcomes. Alright, bienvenido. Добро пожаловать. Välkommen. Välkomna. Irashaimase.欢迎. Kalosorisma. Välkommen. Bienvenue. Welcome. Hopefully I didn't miss any. Those are all the ones I learned, I think. Alright, so before we get into the ecosystem, I'm going to show some people a little terraforming trick that they may or may not know with Island Generator. Tropical or temperate, doesn't matter, pick one of those two. This doesn't really work on Mediterranean or desert. We'll go with tropical, none of these settings matter. I'm just going to show you a little trick with foliage. Enter generator. See those mountains in the background there? No trees on them, they're bare rock, they're all brown looking. I can show you how to make those except with trees. You notice it on temperate map, tropical map, but not the desert of the Mediterranean. Desert just adds little scrubs, and Mediterranean mostly adds rocks and shit. So, but Island Generator, tropical and temperate. And I'm hoping when they bring out taiga it would be the same as temperate, but I don't know. Doesn't matter, but let's go with quite a few mountains. And that'll do. Alright. Let's just fucking max out the trees. Okay, so what you would do normally, what I would do is I'd fuck around with the shape, whatever the hell I want here. Oh, yeah, I swear, sorry. There's a warning at the thing about profanity and all that. If you can't take my swearing, yeah, sorry, apologize. I just love it. I don't, it's not every 2 seconds, but yeah, I'm going to let out F-bombs and I'm going to let out a whole bunch of shit. There you go. Okay, water, don't care. Mountains, don't really care. We got that. We got lots of trees. That'll work. Okay. So, instead of a mountain like this, right? See, it's just bare, no trees, they're all at the base there. If you wanted a mountain with all these trees on it, start the map with no mountains, all flat or whatever. No mountains, doesn't matter. Make your own mountains. So to compare, I'm going to show you this bare one here, and we're going to do a mountain covered in trees of approximately the same height. Right here is perfect. So all these default trees, which is why I max out trees, all the default trees, you can see the ground right there. That's the ground. There's the tree that's default on the ground. So there is a hill here. You can see it, right? We'll turn it into a mountain. What it'll do is this. Oh, wrong place. Hopefully you know what all these things do for terraforming. If not, ask questions. I can explain them all because some of them are crucial. Okay, so what we're going to do is just raise the shite out of this up to that mountain, put a little couple peaks or whatever, and just watch the scenery. Doesn't matter how stupid I get with a cone, right? Like, that's stupid. I would never make a mountain with a point like that. But like the scenery follows it up to an extent. Like it does spread out, right? Because you're going by contour lines and all that sort of stuff. So it does spread out. But, favorite friend here, undo. Just undo all that shit. Still the same amount of trees. Right? See, they just go into different places on that as you make that. Okay, so nobody makes it like that. So to make it more realistic, bring it to whatever height here. Let's say that height. Let's just flatten it up so we make a huge frickin' mountain. Then we've got more of a slope there, but see, again, you gotta stay away from the cliffs. Because, yeah, straight up and down cliffs, you probably want that look. However, if you start drastically smoothing it out, you're going to get all those trees, and no matter where I do it, as long as there's trees there, it's going to go up with the terrain. There is a height limit to this as well too. It's close to 500 meters, so you can't go up higher than 500 meters. If you're using the island generator, all islands are approximately just a little over 2 kilometers across tip to tip if you get the biggest ones. Plus there's a 200 meter, I think, border on the outside here that you can build. So past this border, can't put dinosaurs, but I can still build shit. For up to, I believe it's 200 meters. So that's another 400 meters across. So you're just over 2 kilometers tip to tip on the island. If it were, say, square or circular or whatever you want to call it. The square maps, I don't know the size. I think they're probably pretty close. I would assume bigger. And I'm going to actually use one. So yeah, Bear Mountain. Again, you do see this shit, right? When you get some funky things, but fuck around with it. Experiment. Got all those trees still. From a distance, doesn't look too bad, but yeah, no, I would clean this up majorly. This is just me fucking around and raising the shit out of everything, showing you that all those trees will move with it. Right? No trees there, so now the rock goes up. So there's like a combination of what it might look like. A little bit of bear, a little bit of trees. One big motherfucking weird-ass looking palm on the top. Alright, and that works on the temperate map as well. Again, I don't know if it works on the square maps. I don't know what they look like. I've never played with them. And I'm going to be doing a desert one, so you won't really know it. The other trick is some of these paints. Alright, so you can... cliff and rock. Alright, let's just put a little down here. I always say, crank this down here. Let's do this. Look at that. That added trees. So that's how you get massive amounts. See, you can see the bear shit there, but just one little dab of cliff, am I on? Yeah, cliff. Right? But if you go overboard, eventually, like if I did a massive radius of this, yeah, look how it starts to, okay, you want this whole fucking thing to be sheer cliff? There you go, buddy. But, a little bit at a time, intensity down, you can put it up, massive, boom, that's what you get. Keep it down, small little radius, you don't do major damage to what you were doing here. So right here, you can see all this green, boom, that's cliff I'm adding. Rock, same deal, right? Just a little bit, just little touches here to fill your patches. Boom, just tapping my button ever so slightly. Boom, fills it in. So if you don't have dinosaurs up here and it's just, you want it looking clean and you don't want to see that green shit, there you go. Boom, boom, little taps, look at that. Foliage everywhere. So yeah, it doesn't always add rocks. And that's sheer fucking cliff over there. Right, okay, this is sheer right down cliff. It's not like a gentle hill. So yeah, you'd think you'd get sheer cliff. Nope. Boom. Boom. Look how easy that was. 2 little clicks. Boom. Rock. Cliff. This is the tropical map. Again, try it on temperate and all that. It's all different, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, you want a lot of foliage. There you go. That's how you do it. Real simple trick. Boom, let's fix this one up. Oh. That's right, I fucked it, didn't I? Can't fix that one up. I fucked that one already. Because that was a chasm there, remember? It already had default rock. So no matter what I do to that, if I add rock to this, it's going to add the rock. Because it was default rock before. Whereas, that's why you need the trees on maximum. When you do the island at first, it has to be the natural trees there. That's what it adds, is those natural trees. Here, it'll add whatever the fuck I put on there. Rock, cliff, etc., you know what I mean? It's going to add that shit. So that's how you make a whole bunch of that. The only drawback with that is you create beautiful, lush, frickin' ecosystems. Yeah, yay, this all across your island. You want to see a T-Rex chasing a galley through that? No, because 9 times out of 10 it gets stuck under a tree and then you get yeeted up here and you don't even see the end. This is why I'm making a desert ecosystem. I got so pissed off at my beautiful jungle tech. Oh, the shit I had in that ecosystem, the jungle stuff, it was crazy awesome. I loved it. However, you don't get to see shit when it comes to dino interactions unless there's an open spot like this where it's going down. 9 times out of 10, the big guys are the prey's running for this shit. They want to get in cover. So, but yeah, there's a tip for that. Now let's get on to the ecosystem thing. Where the hell am I? Main menu. Alright, so I'm going to do this according to my post as if it were me just reading somebody else's guide here. Let me just pull up my Reddit post. Where are all my stupid things? Posts. Just menu guide. Part 1. Part 1. There we go. Pardon me. Alright, so what are we going to do? Sandbox. Wait. Let's read this first. Before I do anything, let's just read my thing here. Part 1 here. Some pics reference points. Aviary nest preface. Planning on breeding birds. Blah, blah, blah. I already know all that. Okay. Am I in part 1 here? Oh, I'm in part 2, that's why. Never mind. Am I in the wrong part? There we go. Oh, yeah. That's a picture of my island. That's a picture of the island if you happen to be on the post here. Game settings. No feeders for staff. Okay, so ecosystem, yeah. I want no people to deal with. I won't want healing. I don't want any of that shit. I want natural ecosystem. Simple pimple. So, all the settings I'm going to make are going to be according to how it would be in the real world. So just think, use common sense, and I know common sense isn't, however, use it and figure it out. We'll go through them one by one here for everybody though. Disable help screens, again, this is all just the gameplay shit. I don't give a crap about that, yeah. Don't want it on. Task timer, I'm not going to have tasks. I don't care about that stuff. I don't care about that. The buildings, I'm only going to have the 3 buildings, an aviary. I mean, aviary and aviary hatchery, I consider 1 building. So 2 there, I suppose. But then a regular hatchery and the arrival point because you have to have those buildings. Don't care about the icons in the buildings. Don't care about the icons of dinosaurs. I don't care about vehicles because I'm not going to have any. Icon fade start, again, it doesn't matter. I'm not using icons. That's all irrelevant. Again, don't care about the focus on the building. I don't care on the focus on here. I can turn that off. Doesn't matter. This I like to have off if I'm clicking on something and I don't want to focus on the hatchery for whatever reason. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Terrain contour lines. Here we go. This is different for while you're terraforming. You're going to want to pay attention to some of the stuff here. I have default, but I do change this depending on what I'm doing sometimes. So I always have show while editing terrain on. I always have this show in other construction modes off, but sometimes I switch this, and you'll see why as we build the ecosystem. It's gonna happen eventually. You'll see why I switch these. A little bit here. Autosave. Yeah. Oh man, it's nothing like building something. Spending an hour doing it. You got autosave off, and the fucking power goes out, or your computer glitches out, or the console decides to be a bitch, and yeah, all that work you just did for the past hour is gone. I say at least 15 minutes, because that ain't so bad if you use 50 minutes of work, even though for me sometimes, especially if you're building some intricate pieces or whatnot, if you're building intricate pieces, fuck me. 15 minutes of work can be a lot of pieces that you lose. Put an autosave on somehow, somewhere, something. 15, like maximum is 20, right? So I go with 15. It's a good, nice quarter of an hour, right? Boom. I don't care about the report and all that, so I always minimize it to get it down. Don't give a shit about that. I'm not using it. Again, complexity meter per console. Pay attention to this. You're always going to want this off, or on, sorry. You're going to always want to have this on. This is going to be on here, but you'll notice I can't change it. Why not? Well, because you got to wait till you create your map before you change that. So you have to remember, once you go in, first thing you want to do is immediately just turn that on. You're going to use it no matter what. It ain't going to hurt it. I'm on an Xbox Series X, so I'm not sure about PlayStation performance or the Series S. However, for me, I don't find any difference having this on all the freaking time. I want it on so that I can put the maximum amount of stuff in here, and it's why I build minimally. That way I don't use a lot of pieces, and I can focus more on having more dinosaurs, because everything adds up so crazy fast here, people. On consoles, yeah, you can't have thousands and thousands of dinosaurs in an ecosystem and not expect your console to blow up. It ain't going to happen. So we'll talk more in depth about that later, because you're going to have to come up with choices most likely. You'll see that as I build this ecosystem. Okay, average orientation, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the display, set all that up how you want to. This doesn't matter. This is all your sound and shite. Controller, blah, blah, blah. Mouse and keyboard if you use it. I always use a controller. People say they have problems with controllers. I don't. I've been using controllers day one. All the modular building games I play, Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, etc. I have no problems using controllers. It's real simple for me. However, if you can't, you got the option for mouse and keyboard. Again, don't care about the subtitles. Don't care about all this. Don't care. Standard UI, don't care. It's all pretty stuff. I max that out. This is useless. It does not do anything other than that. Look at it. Okay, yay, it's all capitalized. If you have a hard time reading, sure. Capitalize that so it makes it easier to read. That's what that's for. Yeah, I like the camera shake on. I do. It gives a more realistic feel for me. The hell am I on here? Alright, dinosaur highlight. Yeah, I don't use the dinosaur highlight. Alright, none of this is good for me. Don't care. Don't use rangers. Don't use helis. I tried to remove storms from the equation. Here's the deal. Making an ecosystem is complex enough if you want to start getting carnivores to breed. That's the issue with most people failing on their ecosystems, is carnivores not breeding. They're not setting up territories. They're not breeding. They're not perpetuating the species. So this is what this is meant to teach you, how to help get to that point where you can perpetuate your carnivores. Herbs are easy. Nobody fucks with the herbs when there's no carnivores around. Herbs fucks with herbs, but they don't fight to fucking death all the time. They're not hunting themselves, right? So less problems are better, which is why I also turn off diseases. Fuck it, it's one extra thing. Yes, I've played enough ecosystem that I figure, yeah, won't make it much of a difference. If anything, it would give me more complexity meter by wiping out shit. But you know what? I need those dinosaurs to stay alive for the carnivores. So that's how I look at it. I turn it off. It just makes it easier for the way I want to play. Other than that, I try to keep everything, boom, real life. Okay, so all these, there's really not a lot you do in here. We went through them all now. There's some that you might want to adjust. Up to you. Again, doesn't matter. The sandbox settings are the ones you're really going to want. Alright, so there. We set all our settings. Boom. Sandbox. I am going to do a square level. I usually do island generator, but I don't want to do that. I want the beautiful background that is not ocean. Where are we here? Square levels. There we go. Okay, so we got Desert Nevada. I think I looked at these before. I think Desert Montana was the one I wanted. Plus, it borders my province of British Columbia, Montana. Fourth largest state in the United States. Borders a shitload of states and 3 Canadian provinces. So we're going to go with Montana. Okay, creative, standard, custom. Go to custom. This doesn't matter. Whatever the fuck you want here. You're not going to use guests. You're not going to use any of this shit. So I'm going to put it to who the hell would be out here in the middle of Badlands, Montana. It's not a park. It's an ecosystem. So if anything, yeah, operative, sure. What the fuck? Any of these guys might be out here, right? Doesn't really matter. So let's go with forestry. Here's the other ones. I suggest putting this on. I know it's not true ecosystem, but because of mechanics of the game, and there's a lot of stuff, mechanics of the game doesn't always work the way you want it to, so for ease of your ecosystem, and mechanics, and the way the mechanics of the game work with eggs and bursts and how long everything takes, it's best to have every fucking burst succeed. It really is. It just, sometimes you gotta wait minutes upon minutes and minutes, and then if it fails, it's all just fucked. You could have had, you could have a dinosaur population slowly dwindle if they just can't fucking breed, right? So we want to concentrate on making sure that the breeds are successful. Call it a mini cheat, call it whatever you want. For me, it's just easier because of the mechanics of the game. If the mechanics were all perfect and dinosaurs hunted well and did everything the way animals actually should do things, you wouldn't need to deal with this. I'd have everything on fucking, 100% true. No disease. Yep, want them to get injured. Yes, I want them to starve. By having this off, that means they will starve. They will dehydrate. They need food. They need water. I want a normal lifespan. I don't want unlimited. I want them to die off. I want corpses to be available when things die so that scavengers and carnivores can eat them. I do want juveniles to grow up. I don't care about status checks. I got no buildings that are going to use vehicles. No feeders, so on, off, who cares, do whatever you want. Feeders do make things easier, but if you're going through ecosystem, you want the hunting, off. Doesn't matter here, we're not using them, on, off. Yep, social requirements, always set it to on. Danger to guests, doesn't matter, there's no guests. Put on whatever you want, leave it to on. Dinosaur escapes, this one I change only if I'm using like fencing for scenery. Let's say I'm making a little base area where I want it to look like a dinosaur broke through the fence. I'll make a tiny little fence area, put in like a very aggressive dinosaur in this tiny little fence, just having to break through one piece, and then I'll delete the pieces that aren't broken and continue on with my decoration. So that's the only reason I turn this to on, right? I would turn that to high, put the dinosaur in, let it break out, turn it back to off. Right, so no escapes. If it's on, it affects a trait, right? They could have that intelligent trait to blah blah blah, which is why I keep it off. That way nothing gets an intelligence trait at all. Vehicle aggression, all dinosaurs, doesn't matter, there's no vehicles. Setting this to off will set the comfort to 100%, so therefore I want them, even though this looks like it is, set the comfort to on so that they're good. No, we want them to, you know what I mean? They're fussy, you can make it really hard, don't. If you're new to this and you're needing this guide, don't make it hard on yourself, make it easier. Okay, so setting this to off. If you set it to off, your dinosaur is going to be 100% all the time. What the hell are you making an ecosystem for? You can just put bare rock out there. We want to see if you can create something that they can live in. Perpetuate their species. So, leave that on. Normal or off. That's it. You want combat frequency normal. Herbivores. I turn mine to on. Send summon only works for the vehicles. Negative. I don't do the negative gene modification thing. I do play around with traits, but I don't do unlimited. I do whatever the default gives me, and then I'll play around with traits depending on what I want to introduce. And you'll see that as we go along as well too here. All right, so I don't give a shit about that. Yes, I want the vulnerable juveniles. I want them to be killed, so we enable that. Infinite? No, I don't want infinite. Right. It's either infinite or what they default give you. Unlimited traits? No, I don't want unlimited either. I want a limit on it. I want diversity, you know what I mean? If everything had max amount of traits and everything was super defense and super this and super... If everything had 100% traits, there's no fucking point. It's super species. Cohabitation. Again, you can read the stuff on the right-hand of the screen there. Like, we don't want that. We want a normal cohabitation. If that fucking T-Rex comes into that Brax territory, we want those Brax to be pissed about it. They either move or, you know what I mean? Dinosaur breeding. Normal. Always succeed. Now, again, this folds back to the egg. Is it here with the eggs? Sorry, I can't remember where the egg thing was. Yeah. No egg failures. Okay, so I just don't want the eggs to fail, but I do want breeding to fail. This is going to be... I'll leave this up to you. This dinosaur breeding... I like the chance that, yeah, no, they just couldn't breed properly. I like that fail chance. It doesn't happen very often, to my knowledge. They generally, once they pick a mate and they decide they want to breed, they're good. They will end up breeding, and there's not generally a low chance of them failing, I've noticed. So, I never have that on. I never have that on. That's my default setting. So for how I've played in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours I've got experience, it's worked just fucking fine. Right? I must have failures. I know I do. But I'm constantly getting constant messages come up saying, oh, has found a way, and nest number blah, 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 has found a way, has found a way. So they're breeding. If you want them always, every single time to succeed, no matter what, if they have a low chance, then yeah, this will make it easier to breed as well too. Contracts, don't care. Don't care. Don't use them. Don't use them. Don't use it. Don't use it. Task time. Alright, so incubation, that's really all I'm doing this for. 100%. Put it on the lowest. Hatchery creates it 1% of the time. Boom. This is stupid. This doesn't even work. I've seen so many people complain about this thing. Oh, I got 2 arrival points. Won't let me put up. Yeah, even with this setting, it's all fucked. Don't worry about this. We're not using anything more than 1 arrival point, 1 hatchery, and 1 aviary/aviary hatchery. Power. Doesn't matter. We don't need power, so put this to on. Fuck it. I know these things need power. I don't want to deal with power for the hatchery in those buildings. I want my complexity meter down. Unlimited fuel, sure. Doesn't matter. I got no vehicles. Invincible vehicles. I just turn that off. Doesn't matter. No sabotage. We don't want fucking sabotage. Bullshit. Instant construction. Yeah, up to you. What do you want? I don't care. Turn it on. That's what would make it the easiest for building shit, but we're not building shit, so... Again, don't use the buildings. So I just turn it off. I don't need the buildings breaking down. I use 4 of them. Don't need them breaking down, so fuck it. Cash unlimited. Appeal difficulty. Don't care. No guess. No guess. No guess. No guess. Here's a bunch of options. Calm, rare, default, frequent. None. Calm, rare, default, frequent. None. I go with calm all the time. I want to have something going on. Time of day, again, I change this, blah, 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 blah. True one is that. Oh, I gotta sneeze, hang on. Sneeze left, it didn't want to come out. Alright. Yeah, that's a true cycle. If you want to play it, as you play for an hour, you're going to get an hour of time passing the sun. Now, I do day all the time. Easier to build, easier to see everything. Sometimes I really wish it had time like Planet Zoo and all that, where you could pick the time of day instead of dusk, dawn, you know, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 1 in the morning, whatever it may be. I really like that option in their other games. However, in this one, day provides the best light, but depending where you are, yeah, sometimes you want it to be dawn, you got better light, or dusk for better light. Lighting in this sucks, unfortunately, because if it's nighttime and you got a building that's well lit up, yay, those lights, well, if you played this game at all, you'll know what inside a building looks like during the day. Go inside a building in the day with no lights, or with daytime light only, it's dark as fuck. Even if you put lights in there, they won't come on until it's nighttime. You go in at night with the lights on, yeah, you can see fine inside a building. Daytime, you can't see shit. What the fuck? Anyways, goofiest light shit ever. So yeah, play with day on there, do whatever you want. For screenshots and all that, yeah, you gotta fuck around and get the idea. Color grading, I don't know, let's just use, what do we got? Fuck it, we're gonna be doing Montana, so we'll just leave it default. Alright, let's start the game. Auto save. Yeah, I don't care. Alright, let's check out Montana. Now I'm gonna run off to my Reddit post and see what I tell myself to do here. Pardon me. Ecosystem part 1. There we go. Game settings. No user staff. I won't go over all the settings. Yada yada. I'm gonna pause the game here. Hang on. Camera 3 is the camera you want for your building shit, just so you know. Building on my console is fucked up right now ever since the December patch. I've got a glitch. I can't get in and detail little things. I get yeeted above the highest point. Probably see that at some point in this build here. Okay, we're going through the Reddit post. First thing first. Game settings we've done. Sorry, I won't read this out loud. I'm just going to be reading it, make sure I don't slip anything. Disease. Oh yeah, diseases. Oh yeah. I'll try using it on my next desert ecosystem report back. Well, I'll be doing that soon, I suppose. I'm doing a desert ecosystem right now. Very nice. Pick your map generator. Okay, blah 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 blah. Aviary hatchery. Blah 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 blah. Terraforming, not in reference to dinosaur needs like tall nut, etc. 75% of terraform was done. Okay, so my first step is terraforming. I touched on the trees thing. River water, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. Smooth. Oh yeah, the smooth options. We'll cover that as well too. I'll show you that. Waterway. Okay, so the first one's pretty simple. Terraform. Okay, let's see what I got to work with here. Square map. I don't know if there's a way to zoom out. Okay. Looks pretty big compared to the island generator. I would say, I don't know if it's bigger or not. It's hard to tell. I mean, you can see the obvious line. I have to do something about that. Why? Like Frontier, come on. This is the funny thing about Frontier. I played, like I said, I played all the games and I know the border problems. Why? Why have they not learned about border problems? Nobody likes that. Nobody fucking likes that. What the hell? What the fuck? You know what I mean? Especially for like Planet Zoo or Planet Coaster, where why not have a city background? You know what I mean? That looks more realistic. So yeah, I can run a road through that. If I were to run a road through this, I can't continue it off here to make it look like a highway's coming into an entrance point. You know what I mean? So they need, I don't know what they need, but they have. That's the weird thing about their damn games. They all have different options. Why don't they all have the same shit? Why don't I have all the Planet Zoo options, like for ruins? Today I commented on some people who made some real cool looking fucking ruins. Why isn't there a ruin set? Like, what? You guys know how to do this. You've got it for your other games. It's your assets. It's all the same engine as far as I know, at least on console. Alright, so it's just that. Straight across, flat. What does the contour lines look like? Yeah. Is it all flat? I don't see any contour lines here. Is this all completely flat on the square map? I've never done a square map, so I don't know. I suppose I should look at chat to see if anyone's actually asking questions. Hang on, give me a second. Alright. Nothing going on. Okay. Yeah, I think it's all flat. Undo. Oh, train undos? I think you get like 50 undos. Okay, so you can undo the last 50 things. With train, depending on what you're doing, like... Alright, so I'm going to hold down the button to make a hill. Okay, so that's one button hold, but it made quite a different amount of adjustments. Like, here's one undo. Oops, let's show you. Here's one undo, 2, 3. So it took 3 to get rid of that thing. 4, 5, and 5 to get rid of that. And you can see it's gone, right, because it's not highlighted. See the arrow there? I'm out of undos. Nothing to undo. Alright, so it says to terraform. I will not terraform this 75% of the way like I stated in my post, just so you guys can not have to worry about... Sorry, I'm talking and I'm looking at the terrain because I'm trying to figure out what to do with this shit. I won't do massive terraforming. I'll terraform as we go along. A lot of people can't do that. They can't, and it might take like 12 hours. I get so detailed in all my shit. This isn't too bad because it's all fucking flat. so it'll be easy. But I gotta get it to work with the border, because it's not water. There's no beaches. And there is zero fucking water here, isn't there? I haven't seen any. Hey, so I think one of the corners. Alright, I think I'll start in a corner. Not there. Probably this one right here. Right by the mountain. Got some foliage over here. What do they got for trees? Redwoods back there? I can't tell. It looks like redwoods. Hey, so they've got some foliage here already. Just no water. Pardon me. And it's all fucking flat, so what do I do? Alright, got it. Okay, I'm a sucker for natural looking and the way nature actually works. So where does our water come from here? Well, I'm not going to have facilities. I don't have a pump house. I can't create water that way. I can't use like water condensers. I can't use man-made shit. So it has to... Oh, look at that little cactus. Hello. It has to come from somewhere. So I'm going to say that since I can't see past that mountain really, underground spring is your best option, but what I'm going to do is pretend that there is... Yeah, okay, that's what I'll do. Run it down there, boom, 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 big thing in the middle. Got it. Alright, I like to do a story. It's so much fun having a story to go along with everything and creating it. It gives your ecosystem more character. So my story here is it's going to be complete ecosystem, just like a little Lost World thing. There's going to be a river coming out from the mountain. So it'll look like it's coming through the mountain on the other side, and we can't see what's over there. So you can claim there's a river there, which would be why maybe there's a little bit of runoff down here, which is why we got some trees, because they do get a little bit of water, who knows. Anyways, water's coming from there. So it's going to pull out of this corner here. Drain into this Lost World area, into a big, let's say, an oasis in the middle with a bunch of branches, and then the water dries out and can't leak out past the border area. So big oasis, probably in the middle, river, mountains, and then dwindle the river and dry it out. Okay, so yeah, I want reasons for where my water comes from. Alright, got a river coming through here. So let's go with... Where's my corner? There we go. Let's just... Ah, fuck. How big is that? That covers that hugely. Oh, for those who don't know already, see how I've got two, I'm moving it 2 axes? When you hit that border, if you go beyond it, it doesn't want to move beyond it. See that? I can't get past that border. You have to go axes by axes. Right? Like that. You can only do one at a time, because when you go to move it, right, so that's as far out as that goes. If I go, like, say, this, and then I go to 2 axes. Come on, give me 2 axes. Here we go. See how it snapped up there? If you get close to the board, it snaps it up there. I guess it's not going to show you the best here. There we go. That'll be better. So, let's say I want it there. Oh, snapped it up. Got close to that. Oh, snapped it up. Got close to the border there, right? So once your cursor touches that, oh, snaps it. Oh, snaps it. Right? So if you want it way the fuck up here, you hit that border. Oh! You want it way up here? There we go. That's the way to do it. See, it doesn't snap it down. Whereas any two, doesn't matter. Oop, boom. Found it. Right? Okay, so this is massive actually. I can make that. Probably that one. As big as I can get. Yeah, okay. So I will want that. I want it more of an angle like that. Okay. Right on here. Here, gotta run it down. Oh, I still need the angle. Where is it covered? Right. Good enough, right about there. Alrighty. Now, let's say I want to move this out of the way for a minute. I want to do some work under here. What my plan is to have the river flowing through here as if it's running under the mountain there, let's say, or whatever. Pardon me. And it pops out here. And it's going to feed into the rest of the map. So I'm going to create a little entrance area here, but I'm raising the terrain behind it to use the waterfall effect to make it all fucky looking here. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. But let's just say that's exactly where I want that rock. I don't want it to move at frickin' all from that position. I don't want it to turn 1 inch to the left or rotate at all. So I want to get it out of the way and then I want to put it back. Advance move. Boom. Switch that to global. If you find it moves on you right away, you might have to just exit and then go back into it again. So pick it, advance move. Global, right? Best way is to move it up out of the way, left, right, wherever it's going to go. You might want to get it into there, all right? So pull it into the map, but you want it to be exact when you pull it back. So, right here, see how it moved it? Advance move. Advance move. See that? Advance move. Right? It's moving it, but it's not, because when I cancel it, it hasn't moved it. So, it looks like it's moving in there, it's not. So we want to advance move it. Global, local. I'll show you the difference here, actually. See the axes for the local? Right? It's because the default setting for this thing is standing on that straight up. I've moved it, I've changed it, I've rotated it. If I just want to move it straight across the board, this has to be global. Okay? Now we've got the global axes. See? Lines with that corner. X, Y, Z. For the Americans. I'm Canadian, so I would normally say Z, but... Alright. So, switch it to global. I want to move it that way. Let's put that in groups of 4. It's going to keep moving at 4 meters that way, right? Doesn't matter. Out of the way. Let's just leave it there. This is what I want to work on. Oh, shoot. How far out? Was it? I undo. Okay, well, now I know. Here's where it sits. What I should really do is mark that before I move it. So I want... Come on. There's where it runs across. That's just a marker. It's not necessarily what I'm doing with water. Now I'll move it. Advanced move. Global. 4. Snap. I don't move it up because... reasons. Okie so I can do this. Ah! Sorry, it's been a while since I played, so... Flatten it to... right there. I could even run that rock back in more if I needed to. That's a lot of wasted space. Oh, fuck it. Alright. You know how to make waterfalls, you know what I'm doing. Oh. Crank my settings. Time for that. And I want to run it to about there-ish. Alright. Pardon me. And smooth. Again, still on the forest. It's all set the way it was. Now you just got to figure out where exactly was it. I know it was there because it stops itself for me. I can't go further than that. You can hear me clacking on the stick. So that's where I want the water to come out of. I'll figure something out to make it look natural, to make it look it's coming from under the mountain. But essentially that'll be my water source start. Oh, fuck. And I'm only doing this temporary just to get the water started. I don't know how wide I'm going to go. I don't know what's going on. See how I got the contour lines on? I can see through it without having to see through it. So I know I've got my water there already. I know what I did, a big pool of water. So, for dragging your water over and fucking with waterfalls, low radius is your best bet. I can drag this water here. I can drag the water into it there from down here, however I need to. I'm going to pull out here because I want to see what this sand does as I pull it through the rock. So I want to expand my water coming out. And I'll show you. I'm just going to tap it a bit at a time, right? Because I don't want to expose too much of it, but I want it to run across most of that rock, most likely. Alright, so there's all my water. Perfect. That looks horrible. That's more like it. Sort of leaking from under the rocks there. I'm just doing slight touches. Yes, it's on maximum intensity. I know what I could do. Tiny little things with. Sorry, I'm trying to get this just right. Tippity tap. I could do. I just need to shut up. I could do the intensity a little bit lower. Oh, that's nice. And if you don't like it, say, oh, I really fucked up that thing there. I don't like that. Undo. Right? Undo. And again, if you like this and you find that you're trying to smooth this out, but you can't get that smoothed out, just hide it with that like a rock like this. You know what I mean? Hide it with a rock, hide it with a bush, hide it with something if you get that pointy shit. I hate it. I hate that triangular computer graphics. Computer graphics. What the fuck is that? I've never seen a rock like that in my life. Anyways, so yeah, if you don't want to fuck around with smoothing, hide it with bush and shit. So we'll do half-ass shit. I am so freaking anal about everything looking natural and smooth, and it's got to blend, and I try not to focus on that here, just for making it quicker. But yeah, I can't deal with that shit. Pointy, not good. That doesn't look too bad. It looks like it's seeping through some sort of break in the rock there. Gave us a little bit of a bush there. That ain't too bad. See what it looks like moving. Ah. Oh, like that. I got rid of that shit too. Ooh. If it weren't for these stupid little lines, right? Like, come on, you know that water's going this way. I know how water works in real life. If it's flowing like that shit, it's flowing over top there. It spreads itself out. I mean, it's not too bad, and I can hide it. And that's why I don't like doing this terraforming shit, because I've got to hide a lot of that computer-generated shit. That even looks okay, except for this shit here. Like those lines, I just fucking can't deal with them. And that, the surging water looks good until it's surging through rock like that, right? Yeah, I don't know. Something like that, I think. It just looks so fucking that crap. Oh, okay, I can't. Ecosystem. Okay, so good enough. So that's what I'm going to leave. I'll detail it later. And here's the deal. There's so much terraforming. There's lots of terraforming. Even when you start putting dinos in, there's terraforming. More to do. Take a break. Take a break. Do a little bit of... Oh, I want to build a cool little whatever. A graveyard here. I want to build a fucking nice little rock structure here. Take some time to do the little details here and there. You'll slowly detail your park over time. Alright? But it'll give you a break from fuck. Sometimes you get so frustrated getting that perfect waterfall. You know what I mean? It's like, rah! Take a break. Do something else. Go do some shit. That's why I say get 75% of this shit done first. Clean it up later. Alright? Get it all done so you can just take breaks. You don't have to worry about getting water done. I know every dinosaur is going to need water, and every dinosaur is going to need food. So if I put all my water in right away, I don't have to worry about that part of it. I can just deal with the food shit. Alright, so I'm going to run a river straight to the middle and end up sort of like a little oasis. And then branch it off. Okay, so I can change all this shit later, but what I'm going to do for now... just run a straight line. I'm going to use deep water, and I'm going to tell you why I use deep water. I should use deep water here to start. Damn it. It might not work now. Damn it. Oh well. I get it. Just... what does it look like? Like that. And then Frickin' frack. Just sort of make it look like it's flowing from underneath it instead. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what I like better. Let's see. Spam that undo button, put it back to the way it was. Hopefully I've done less than 49 of those. Yeah, there goes the deep water. See there, I know what I'm back to by that deep water. Once it starts disappearing, I know that's the first thing I put down. Boom. Do I go with that? Kind of puts a kink into what I want to do. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna go back to that. And I'll explain why, because I've got a plan here. That'll do for now. Alright, so let's do a big ass river. Where's the middle of my map? Corner. Corner. It's right there, give or take. Bullshit. Way up to the corner there, where it's sort of blah, 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 blah. Good enough. Okay. So here's the plan. Deep water. Let's show you. Alright. Construction, or contour lines on, obstructions, default is off. Okay, so dinosaurs. Obviously can't go through the rock. Yay, sweet, awesome, what we want. No travel from dinosaurs, and if I clean this up with the water, straight across this river, right now. Alright? Small dinosaurs, no. Medium dinosaurs, no. Large dinosaurs, no. Sauropods, giant dinosaurs, yes. Okay, they can cross that. Also, as you can see, bottom left of the screen there, the yellow part, semi-aquatic. So like Spinosaurus, Baryonyx, etc., they can cross that. So, the reason I'm doing deep water here, because of my ecosystem guide, I'm setting up super territories. You'll get to that. I'll explain why. But I want to create a natural barrier that only my sauropods can cross. Alright? Just the sauropods. Right? Nothing's getting past that. If it does get through that somehow glitchily, because even one little open fucking area, one little, see these rectangles in that square there? The black in there? They have that. If they don't have that, they can get through right there. Just boop. But this is solid. They're solid. No, they can get through that. They can walk through that shit. So yeah, it just needs a little tiny baby piece to get through. So we want to block that off completely. The problem with that is it separates your map in two. You have to remember that. Not completely, unless I did the exact same thing on the opposite corner and cut it off. Then I'd have two maps. One cut off completely with deep water, and only certain things can cross it. So, And again, I only use deep water right now to make a barrier. I will probably change a lot of this to water later. You don't need the deep water. You might want to have water where things can cross. But right here at this corner, I want quite a bit of no crossing zone for certain dinosaurs. And again, small dinosaurs, tiny dinosaurs rather, they can't cross any kind of water. It doesn't matter if this is deep. Even when you get to water, the shallow shit, they can't cross it at all. Change this right here to shallow water. Just so you can see, yeah, it's still water, right? But it's shallow. Tiny dinosaurs, that's red. Let's change to tiny dinosaurs. Boom. Now all of a sudden, yeah, other shit can walk on that. No problem. It's shallow. They still can't get across there, right? So you can still give water to walk on, quote unquote, with a board. You need to stop. So they could advance on that island up to here. But ain't no tiny dinosaur crossing any water whatsoever. You put a tiny dinosaur on this little island here, it cannot leave that island. Bear that in mind when you're doing stuff and you're cutting off terrain and why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they moving? Well, they probably can't. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to start in this corner here, just so we don't have to do a shit ton of terraforming, and I'll start doing my super territory over here or this side, one of these sides. Doesn't matter. We'll pick one. And then we'll start working along the river and all that sort of crap. Okay. So I've done the 10 hours of terraforming, I've done all my hills, and I made all my stuff, and yada yada yada. My real plan here, just so you know terraforming wise, is to run a river, snake it, have it drop a few levels of contour lines down into a big depression type oases here, or oasis, sorry, not plural. So I want that similar to this, except depressed into the ground a bit, so I've got slope going down, and then that solves the where does the water go. Which is why I don't want massive thing. It's not going to give me massive waterfalls, but it's going to give me, I can get some rapids, I might be able to do a good waterfall drop off of near an end, who knows. But I will not get massive waterfalls because of how flat this terrain is. Okay, so let's say I've spent 10 hours. Good to go. Step 2. I gotta go to my Reddit. Hang on. Let's make sure I did part 1. Boop bam, pick your map. Blah 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 blah. Terraform. Dinosaur overlay. Yep, good to go. Hey, what am I on? Mini guide part 2. Some pics, reference, aviary nest preface. If you're planning on breeding birds in your ecosystem, will require aviary nests. Unfortunately, the only way to place them in the ecosystem is do the aviary, blah 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 blah. Oh, this is just a preface. Flatten the terrain. Oh yeah, flattening of the terrain. How many birds? Yes, I'm gonna have birds, so a bunch of nests. Okay, so be careful where I place shit. Adding herbs and nests. I finished the terraforming stage and ready to play God. I mean, introduce dinosaurs. Where do I start? Sauropods. Okay. Sauropods. Okay, so I gotta pick a big dinosaur. Sauropod. And make him happy. Make him breed. Alright, easy peasy. First things first. Base operations. I think I will start. Actually, I should check chat. Maybe someone's in chat. If anyone's in chat or is watching this and they happen by chat and there's specific dinosaurs they want to see for whatever reason, let me know and I'll pick that. I don't care which one's going here. I'm just going to chuck shit in. Alright, I think I'll start on this side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start my super territory here in this corner. And that will allow the sauropods to cross over for migration purposes, but essentially nothing else. They would be forced out this way. So now I know there's going to be migration from here. They're only going out this way. Sauropods and semi-aquatics can fuck off here, but everything else is going to bulk out that way. So if I were to line that with carnivores right there, that might keep them at bay. It might wipe them out. I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. But we'll start with this one little corner section as a super territory. Okay. Anyone in chat? Nope. Nobody watching. No surprise. Next. Pick a sauropod. Oh, no. I need to do all my operations buildings first. Let's just put it right fucking here. What do I need? I forget where everything is. Sorry, I haven't played in weeks, really. Oh, this is all the guest bullshit. I don't think I need any of these, do I? Yeah, no, none of them. Sorry, I gotta figure out where everything is again. Alright, I know I need the hatchery. I will custom design one because that's all I need, folks. Playing on console, this is all I need as far as the hatchery goes. Alright. Now why it's floating above that is quite interesting. I haven't seen that yet. Is it going to raise the land on me? Did I raise it up? Oh yeah, it's going to raise it. Interesting. Okay, maybe if I place it like this. I've never come across it. Sorry, I'm interested in this. I don't know why it's raising it above the land there. I've never played the Montana map. I don't know if that's just a glitch on this or if I'm doing something wrong, so... scenery. Modules. Interesting. Hey, back to the task at hand. Hatchery. Why? Place custom. Yeah, why is that level now? I must have had it off. Must have had it on something else. Okay, so I'm going to need a hatchery. Did y'all notice that? With the hatchery? See how it's perfectly lined up with the border? That's 100% line. That's your, if you want perfect 90-degree angles and 45-degree, if you want perfect angles and always to line up, no matter what building you're ever using, make one of your buildings, remember which one it is, just line up with your borders like that. The first building you place is always going to line up. Once you start rotating it, it never will again. You'll never get it perfect unless, well, I shouldn't say never, but it's a bitch. It's like toothpaste back in the tube. Okay, so we need a hatchery, an arrival point, and yada yada yada. Oh yeah, no, I need the paddock part of that. I forgot about that. Fuck, it's been so long. I'm just gonna use the default one. Yeah, I need to make one with the hatchery. I forgot about that. Arrival point I don't, but hatchery I do. Okay, so hatchery I'm just gonna use whatever. Jurassic Park, sure. Right. Far off as I can. Actually, second thought, put it over here. This will be easier to release them out instead of having to airlift them. I'm going to do all my work right here from my super territory anyways. Then when I'm done, the only reason I wouldn't do it here is it's taking up all that room. I'll just move it back over here later. I'll make a blueprint. Okay, so I want here, let's say, then I want, this is enclosures, operations, arrival points down the bottom. Arrival point, place custom. Alright, for the arrival point for sure, I only need this. I don't need the whole hatchery. Again, I don't even need the whole hatchery. I need 2 buildings. I need the paddock and I need the hatchery part, but just for the ease of it, I don't want to have to fucking deal with the paddock, so I'll put this fucker right here somewhere. Connect it with a path. Connect it with a path. Don't care. Are you fucking kidding me? Close enough. Oh, you bitch. Really? Just that little tiny fucking bit? Right there, you think? That'll work. Alright, and for now... See how I can still pick it? Right? I can hover above this rock. There's the hatchery for the aviary. There's the hatchery. Rival point's going to be somewhere over there, right? I don't need to see it. I can just hide it like that if I want. I would not hide it like this, just so you know. I would hide mine differently. But again, it's temporary. I'm going to move over there. When I'm done putting in dinosaurs, right fucking here. I can still let them out through here. I can do whatever I want. I can even just leave it like this. Doesn't matter. Right? I don't even need this here if I want to terraform all this shit. Doesn't matter. But I'm just doing this for ease of keeping it on this side of the border. Alrighty. Let's do this. Save. Call that for now. Make sure it did save. Yep, didn't fuck my old map. Good. Alright, so, good. Done. What's the next step? Boo bam. Aviary nest. Oh yeah, if I want, I should put down some aviary nest before I move that. If I want an aviary nest there, which I don't think I do. Yada yada yada, yada yada yada. Okay, adding herbs. You finished terraforming. Yep, we're gonna start sauropods. Large. Okay, let's pick one. Oh yeah, I always put these on here, the slots. Additional base. There might be something to speed it up too, isn't there? Cost, speed up incubation, advanced, oh yeah. Filter! Filter by family. Filter by large. Done. Carnivores, herbivores, piscivores. I do not use hybrids. I will not use any hybrids in any of my ecosystem builds ever. So, you know, so I won't be putting out Dominus, I won't be putting out the Spinus, blah 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 blah. There's certain ones I just, you know what I mean? Spinoraptors, stuff like that. It's not going out there. Sorry. We want one of the 6, I believe it said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, no. Where's your 7? Did I mention 7? I'm going to use all 6 of the biggies. A Pat. Oh yeah, because Ankylo, I keep out of that one, that's right. Ankylo Donkey. What do we go with? Anybody in chat? Pop back chat. Anybody want to see a cert one? Oh, no, nobody there. Gotta go with classic Brax then. Modified genome. For me, I always use the default. I hear there's a problem with babies and like these things here, these types of cosmetic sets not being inherited. I don't know. I leave it on default for both of them regardless. I always change my skin color to random. Again, I like the surprise. Doesn't matter. Your choice. Skin color, whatever. Does not matter. Default, default, random, random. For me, this helps because if I were to leave and save this, save and exit. Say if I go to, oh, do I have any of these? I can't remember if I put Diplodocus on or not. So let's go and check it out. Oh, shit. Dumbass.
Synthesis.
Okay, so let's say I don't know if I've got Diplodocus on the map. I want to do it. We'll go to Modified Genome. When I see that and it ain't random, I know I've never used a Diplodocus on this map whatsoever. But if I'd already finished the Brack, let's say, oh shit, did I put Bracks on here? Oh, for fuck's sakes, again I did it. I got used to these damn controls. Apologies. Did I use Brax? I don't know if I used Brax or not, so I want to go to Modified Genome. Yay, correct button. I see that they're all set to random already, so I know, yep, I've used them at one point because of them. So when I'm done doing that, I go on to my traits. I got 10 points to play with. Appetite. Okay, well, I really don't want them to have a large appetite. I want I want them to be just nice and dandy, so let's keep that at 0. Hopefully you know what all these are. If you don't, you should go through them. Go through them quickly here for you. Thirst. If this goes up, they need less water. Appetite. If this goes up, they need less food. Lifespan. If this goes up, they live longer. Resilience. Alright. Disease. I got no diseases, so this doesn't matter at all to me. Compatibility. Again, you can read it. This is a breeding thing. Fertility is a breeding thing. Read all these things. Humility. These ones are really good for keeping happy dinosaurs. Humility, sociability, tolerance, comfort. Then we get into combat, offense, defense, fitness, etc., etc. So, I like to go with the default, which I had 10, so I've got another 8. What have I got here? Brackies, they'll be fine for breeding. So I don't need to fuck with any of these. So I generally only fuck around with these here. If I want some good D on them, maybe I'll put some here. But for my sauropods, I leave these 3 alone. And the top 6 alone. And I generally really only concentrate on that, I think. Your choice. Again, if you got unlimited traits, doesn't matter, but I like variants. And this is only going to be for ones I create. Once I get babies anyways, I might start getting the ones with different traits and not, you know what I mean? But this just increases my chances that I have happier dinosaurs breeding happier dinosaurs. So I'm going to go with, don't really need to worry about that, because I'm making a perfect territory for them, right? However, if they migrate and leave, this would be a nice stat to have, because where they move to might not have as much, say, whatever, tall nut, or whatever the fuck they're looking for, water, whatever it may be. So that'll help them on a migration type of deal as well, too. But if we're making everything perfect for them, that don't matter. It just helps them deal with it if it ain't all there. This is a species thing, so this can help. Again, I don't know how much this really helps with them being tolerant of, say, carnivores with an herbivore. I know they're tolerant of certain aspects, but if someone knows, let me know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how much it affects tolerating the carnivores in their territories. Alright, same thing, dominance, da-da-da. Humility, dominance, environmental needs, etc. Okay, so I want God, I don't know why they don't have sauropods defending themselves. This shit would make so much more sense. Like, really, Jurassic World Evolution 3. Okay, let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4. The comfort, let's have... No, fuck it. Fuck the comfort. Put that at 50. Oh, another explanation for people who don't know. These are not the traits. Like, they don't get a thirst trait. The appetite... Okay, for example, comfort trait. This just means that they got a 50% chance of getting that comfort trait, the good trait. You know what I mean? This means they got a 0% chance of getting it, which isn't 0 in that sense, but think of it like, okay, they're not going to have a bad appetite, right? That gets rid of the bad appetite trait right off the hop. Now, the chance of them having a bonus, like 25%, that doesn't help it. And when you increase that to 25%, that just means 25% of each one you make in that hatchery has a chance of getting that appetite trait. Alright? Same with the lifespan, which is why I stay away from the negative traits depending on what they are. Alright, so... successful breeding will help. Breeding capable pairs, etc., etc. Humility. Only one of those. Pop sociability up to 100. Fuck it. We'll give it a little D, just for fun. I don't know if that even is going to make any... no, you know what? Fuck it. I'll probably end up with not as many sauropods later. Let's pour this into eat less, live longer. There we go. Live longer. Da-da-da-da-da. Save and exit. Now I just have to create. This is where I like to pause the game and then just, depending on what it is, like if you were to do a Spinosaurus here, you're going to get less dinosaurs than... let's see if I can explain this properly. See the bat size there? Top right screen, middle. Bat size, 1 to 2. I'm going to get 1 to 2 eggs in this hatchery for each one of these. Dinocaris, I'll get 4 to choose from probably, you know what I mean? So when I go Brachy, what do I do is a full complement, especially of ones like Acros, Acrocanthosaurus. If you do that, you only get one egg. You're fucked. I'll show you what happens when you get Dino. Then I'll unpause here, pause after it's ready, just to save time. I don't know why. Doesn't matter right now because there's nothing out there. But yeah, see, I get 4 choices there to choose from. Brackies, 2. Okay, so what does my Reddit post say to do? Apologies again, I'm using a tablet and an Xbox, so... What the fuck is it? Reddit. There we go. Okay, we're on the herbivores. Brax. Okay, dealer's choice. I went with classic Brax. Oh yeah, Hollywood. A spot. What do they want? Where can they go? Well, I know they can go anywhere except for beyond the border, essentially, so they can be pushed out through the water or down the land in one direction. Okay, what do they need? Cover 14%. Normally, if I did the trees on the island, I already have cover. I wouldn't have to worry about that, but now I will. I don't know how much cover's out there on that map. I don't think any. Wetland. Oh, yeah, boo. Wetland just looks so fucking ugly. You gotta really detail it nicely to get it look good. I mean, it looks great when you do it, but just that janky jello look is fucked, in my opinion. Water tallnut. Got river? Yeah, I'm good on water. Got default trees? No, I don't. Make it bigger than it needs to be. About 18 dinosaurs. So I want to go for about 18 Brax. And I want to just test out if they will breed. Alright. Simple pimple. Here we go. Breed Brax. When I pick dinosaurs, I like to pick ones that have minimum of 4 genetic traits. I don't like the negatives, I don't like the aggressive, I try to stay away from that. I know it doesn't matter when they start breeding, they're going to get bad traits, but for the ones that I place in there, I try to stay completely away from any negative traits. So I'm only going to choose this one. I don't know if I want it to be female yet, or male. I don't want any of those. Don't want any of those. And this is where it can take a while doing it. If you're picky like me, I'm only getting 2 Brax out of this so far. 3 Brax. Okay. Who do I want the male to be? And all I do is look at skins. Those are my 2 skin choices for that one. Nothing exciting anywhere for the Brax yet. Okay, I do like that for the male. We'll make that one a male. Those ones, females, yeah. Ah! And then some more bracks here. People always ask me, how many should I put in to start? It doesn't matter. You're really just using this to watch what they do, where they go, if they breed. Just watch their behavior, right? So if you want to get up to a full population of 18, I think it is, or whatever. If you want to put 18 in the start, go for it. But you're gonna be screwed. They ain't gonna breed because it'll stop them at their limit. Some dinosaurs have limits where you can't put more than 18, especially with sauropods. They got limits, right? So start out wherever you want. If you want to start at 12 and just try to get 6 babies, go for that. You want to start out with half the population and try to double your population, go with that. Go with 9, right? So I'm going to go with 9 and see how long that takes to get to 18. Now, later in some of my posts, I put out how many dinosaurs should be male, how many should be female, depending on the species. That's all going to come later. It's fucking trial and error for you, my friends. Herbivores aren't too bad, but when you get into certain dinosaurs that, okay, they mate for life, so now monogamy is a fucking thing. They mate for life, and not that there's a lot of those, but there are some, like Quets, T-Rex, Anks, you know what I mean? They're gonna mate for life, so if you want to perpetuate the species, you're gonna need more than a couple of breeding pairs, right? Because you can't inbreed the babies. Now, with other dinosaurs that don't care about monogamy, like, let's say you're breeding some gigas or something, they can have different moms and the same father, and then those children can breed with each other. They just cannot have the same mother as far as I know, unless it's changed or it's different. But as far as I know, they only need a different mother. So they can have father A, and then you can have mother A and mother B. Father A can be the same father for mother A, and he can also have that with mother B. So he can have offspring mother A and offspring mother B. Now, those offspring that he have cannot, if he had, say, with mother A, let's say he had a daughter and a son. The daughter and the son cannot mate. Won't happen. So let's say he has a daughter and son with mother A. Let's say he has a daughter and son with mother B. Okay, perfect. Mother A's son, mother B's son can go ahead and do it with mother B's son. You know what I mean? So mother A's son can use mother B daughter. Mother A daughter can use mother B son. Right? Even though they're related via those mothers, the father is different, if that makes sense. So because their mothers are different, those two sets of offspring can mate together. Great. So there's your third set, right? Your first set, you've got 2 sets of parents. They have offspring, all right? Those 2 can now create offspring together. But now you're stymied again because that offspring has got fucking more deals. You know what I mean? They need something to mate with. What are they? They can't mate with their mom and dad and shit, so now you need more. So yeah, you need multiple. Like T-Rexes, I suggest putting in 8 to 12. Like 6 pairs, you know what I mean? 6 mating pairs to keep those T-Rexes going. It can get difficult with them, and that's mostly because of the monogamy thing. So yeah, like fuck it, and imagine having 6 pairs of T-Rexes out there. Shit, they can do some damage. It can be done. I've done it. Pardon me, I'm got hiccups here or something. Got some gas, but yeah, it can get fucky. So just keep that in mind. You want to know what the fuck is going on. Why are my dinos not breeding? Well, you need a bunch of them because they can't inbreed. So for certain species, yeah, you're fucked. But as long as the mother is different, you should be fine for perpetuating the species, which is why a lot of the herbivores you're fine. You can just let them fucking go. They'll go on their own. Alright, so I want 9. Let's go with, I don't know, 6 females and 3 males. 2-to-1 ratio.
Prepare asset.
Noise. Not noise. Ah, fuck.
Synthesis procedure. Personnel, please stand.
Come on, this is a problem with doing it the way I do it. You don't want to know how many times I have to make some stuff just to get that 4 stat. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Sometimes I just end up saying fuck it and give up. Oh my goodness. Come on. This one here. This will be lucky. Ah, not dinos. There we go. Okay, so I've got 1 male, 2 females, so we're doing a 2-to-1 ratio, so I need 1 more male, 2 more females. Again, which skin do I like? And when you change your back to female, always go like this. Cycle a couple times because it remembers the last female skin, if that makes sense. So it may remember that skin when I go to look at this one here. See the female? That's the same skin as the last one. Is that what this female skin looks like in this egg? No, because there's the male. Now, if I switch back, it's not going to be that gray. It's green. It might be, but no. See? See, there's the female there. But it showed originally as that green thing. Just remember to cycle through this a couple times to get your true color. I like the male there. We're going to go with that albino-ish look. Nice desert look to it. Make that one the male. These two the female. There we go.
Incubation complete.
Boo bam. Just like that. If I release all of them, I'm going to pause the game to do that. And really, it makes no difference right now what order I release them in. Sometimes it does as far as introductions, who's there, and but that's later on. Once you're established, it makes sometimes a little bit of a difference. But for now, you don't need to worry about anything. Just release them all. Boom. 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 Now I've got 2 females and 4 females and 2 males. And once these are all released, which means I need another 1 and 2. Let's actually speed this up. Everybody's seeing the intros. Nice to meet you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are
Welcome.
pleased to welcome a Brachiosaurus to the park.
We are definitely pleased. Alrighty. Oh, look at him go. You guys aren't happy? I know it's just freaking dirt. There's nothing there yet. I'm waiting for them all to leave. Now, I could pre-prep the area with all that sort of stuff, but I want to show you what it's like when they're out here with fuck all. They just got water. Alright, I'm going to show you how you can keep an eye on your comfort and what their needs are and yada yada yada. So if you forget to fucking terraform or you don't terraform properly, because you're going to have to guess how much room do these fuckers need.
We're getting reports that some of the animals are experiencing heightened levels of stress. If the dinosaurs are on edge,
so yeah, do they come all the way out here
for time until our guests are too.
Take up a quarter of a map?
Let's get this under control.
Well, we're putting in 20 to find out what 20 need, because you can't go beyond 20, right? There's all my dinos. Now I just need 3 more. I know I'm only getting a maximum of 2 for each of these, so I only need 3. I'll take a chance so that I don't have to build more than I need, if that makes sense. Damn it. Actually, let's just throw caution to the wind. Fuck it. We'll go for as many 4s as we can get. And as long as we're at 9 minimum, we're good. Ah, not dreadnoughts. Ah, I did it again. And this, you should be pausing it so you're not to stress out your other guys that are out there already. Because, not that it matters. I'm not going to take that long doing this, but I don't want them to die. So don't take too long, and remember to pause it. Am I not going to get it? Ah! Ah! Really? No force. Alright, maybe I'll just go with 3s. Just to do a quick guide here. There we go, got a fiber. Beauty. Two 4s, nice. 1 4, nice. We'll make the extra one a female then. I don't know. Oh, well, that's a kill one. Yeah, let's make the male the fiber. And then female and female. You always want more females than males. Some males of some species don't like other males in the area and they won't breed. So you want to keep your male count low. As you go along, you'll see where that happens.
Incubation complete. For release.
And then it unpauses the game every release. I don't need to see every release. Ah! Alright, so now I can start. What do these fuckers need? Well, if you don't know, there's a couple of ways you can go about it. You can grab a dinosaur. Here's all the tabs, right? We'll cycle through them quickly. Grab a dinosaur and check its needs for that. You can check it through the hatchery. So you go through here or view genome library, whichever. So pretend to go that, and instead of modified genome, I want to click there. Gonna need cover, gonna need wetland, gonna need water, gonna need nut. I know I got water, I almost guarantee I got water. If they're anywhere close to that water, they've got enough water. You need wetland, cover, tall nut. Boom. If you forget all that shit, and you're not near your hatchery, the dinosaurs always got it. Alright? You can even, for me, this is A, it says there under Edit Environment. It's the A button for Xbox here. This is even more helpful if you don't know and can't remember. You can see the area right there. It shows you. Right now, his area is 1.83. Okay, cover, he's got no cover. He's got no tall nut. He's got a shit ton of water. He's good on that. We're good on that water. Wetland, nothing. Alright? Now, I need all that. So, if I hit that A button, and again, what I'm doing is select the dinosaur, that second tab right there, Comfort tab. I hit the A button, Edit Environment. Anything this Bracky needs is going to have a heart by it. Alright, so it needs that. Like, these are just different forms here of cover. I'm sure you all know this. Hopefully I don't have to explain what everything is. Right, but here's its food. Alright, so it needs that food. There's your food. We've already got the water. Here's just, it needs cover of some kind. It likes these covers. This is pasture. That's covered. It says right there. That's why they're... Okay. It likes that. And it likes that for wetland. Alright? Now, if it had enough of it, see that water? See how it's got that? It loves that water. It's got enough of it. That's why it's not that bright red. Right? Now, that only happens when you select the dinosaur. If I were to go in the hatchery and say, oh yeah, it likes tall nut and it likes that. If I go back here, let's go find tall nut. Well, what does it need? I don't know anymore. Which ones of these did it like? I can't remember. If you can't remember that it's this one here, you have to select that dinosaur. Those hearts will pop up and guide you along the way. Alright? Oh yeah, I'm just fucking around for now. Do I want this area flat? I normally would be terraforming. Sorry, I gotta think now because normally I would terraform. Let's just leave this flat because it's gonna sink down. Let's sink it at that bend, maybe. Alright. So, let's pick the pickiest dinosaur. That's what you want to look at. So you want to look at their traits here. Okay, so he's got a small up. He doesn't care about how much food. You're looking for ones. I'm going to have to cycle through the dinosaurs here. Tolerant. Long-lived, social, accommodating. So see that accommodating? You're looking for ones that don't have that trait. Anything that says... Alright, so Brachiosaurus... Sorry, I get lost in sentences here. Brachiosaurus 8 has accommodating. We don't want to look at him. Yeah, if it's got that accommodating, don't look at them. You want it ones that... And you'll see more maybe with babies where they have even like detrimental ones that hurt the environment. Oh, they need more, you know what I mean? Which is why I say to make 150%, because sometimes once they start getting negative attributes, yeah, they might need more than what the 100% looks like to say someone who's accommodating and needs less, right? He needs 33% less comfort. We don't want to look at how happy he is. We want to look at someone who is cranky about where they live. That's who we want to concentrate on. So it doesn't really matter. 4, 3, I think my first dinosaur is... Okay, so 20% area need growth. That minus on the social there, that has to do with other dinosaurs in the area and whatnot and blah, 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 blah. So as their population grows, you know what I mean, they're going to need more area. So that just says he needs less area as it grows. Instead of an extra acre, he needs 0.8 acres. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? That's what that's about. So it doesn't have accommodating. I just got to remember that Brachiosaurus number 1 is the one I want to look at when it comes to comfort. Right now, he's not very happy about much. So let's just fucking give him what he wants. Boom. Now you can do that. You can do that. By doing this and this, if I find a way away from the water, see how that money's going up? I'm just holding down my A button right now. It's cranking it out, and the only reason it's still going is because it's trying to bleed into like the outer area of the circle there. Eventually it will stop, but there's a lot to bleed, so close enough, whatever. Okay, so I cranked this one out. Brachiosaurus number 1. Let's just slowly follow him for a bit here. Okay, so his water is increasing because he's getting closer to more water, right? Like he's going that way. He's getting closer to more water. Well, shit, that's only 41% of the tall nut. He should have recognized it. You can see his territory. You can see what he recognizes, right? And this, once they get the area, right? Like once they get enough area and all that, and once they start expanding more, these numbers are going to fluctuate. So when I get closer to 20 brax, I'm going to know if I'm at 150% tall nut or 200% water, right? Like what's going to happen when this territory is finished and they're comfortable living where they are. That's the numbers I want to work with. Because already, like tall nut, if I had just paused it, looked, oh, my tall nut was 41%. Well, it's not anymore, is it? It's got a bigger territory, so that's a little bit smaller. Look, it's still going down because he's increasing his territory. This, if you want to speed it up, yeah, you can go through this faster by doing this. Then you don't get your regular ecosystem that you can stop and look at. But so yeah, this is going to be weird for the first little bit of all first species introduction, which is why we want to get them set up, breed them to max to see what Once they've stopped, they can't breed anymore. That's as big as their territory is going to be. They won't be able to breed and like set up new territories for new breeds. It doesn't work that way. 18 is the max. That's it. Across the whole map. Okay, so, yeah, he's gone down. So, boom, one big circle is about a third of their tall nut. So, now, even if I didn't have this, I could make an assumption that if I do one big circle there, and make sure it's in their thing, and I got, whatever. Again, I don't have to keep going mass. One big circle there. One big circle there. And that should be pretty close to what they need until they start expanding more, right? There we go. Put on triple speed. So yeah, those 3 circles got me up to 88% because I believe it was about 29%. So yeah, you triple that. 3 big circles like that, that's a maximum circle. Radius is max, intensity is max. And then, again, I can clean up more because I know there's a gap there. I can just, okay. Did you hear that wonk? That means they were satisfied. So let's just fuck the shit out of this, beyond their territory, and overdo all of it. Don't need it. See the purple heart now? Well, beyond what they need. Red, purple, water. It's that purple. I called it faded earlier. It's really purple. I should have said faded. Purple. So it still needs this. Still needs some of this. Right? But where do you put it?
The dinosaurs are really no different from us when it comes to their emotional states.
Doctor,
comfortable dinosaurs are content dinosaurs. And content dinosaurs are more likely to thrive.
Shut up! Alright, so all I put down is that tall nut. 182%. Now, going back to my ecosystem as you go further through the posts that I made, 150% is a nice target to have. 150% is the end result after other dinosaurs and other little territories are made. So right now, I like 182%. I want it above 150%. I really don't want to drop too much down below 150% right now. I might later, I might not, but yeah, you want at least 150% of everything here. 150 water, 150 cover, 150 whatever. So terraform this, do whatever you need to make it look all pretty. I'm going to leave everything fucking flatland for now, and fuck the terraform in the hills and the mountains, and I'll do all that shit later. Again, I can do that right now. I've established this. Let's turn this into a hill. Find your hill thing, get your radius or whatever, make sure all your settings are right. Boom. Well, that fucked it, didn't it? Because I went up quick and made a sharp hill, I now got rock, and that's because of this tall nut shit. Right? Like if you look over here, and I do the same thing, right? Nothing. I'm just getting the sand. The reason you get that rock is because of the tall nut here. Stupidest decision ever, Frontier. How does that make any fucking sense? Really, I see people pissed off about this all the time in Reddit, and rightfully so. That's the dumbest decision you ever fucking made. I mean, I get it. It looks great. Yeah, it looks like jagged rock, and it looks natural. But that ain't the shit, man. That's the wrong choice there. That should be those damn trees like that IG that I showed you, the island generator bullshit. So we can undo that. Alright, so bear that in mind. If you're going to go up fairly steep, yeah, you're probably going to fuck yourself. You can do it a little bit of a time. Let's drop that down. Alright. Let's do this slowly here. Alright, see that? As my intensity is smaller, I'm getting little tiny hills, but less chances of those rocks. So I can slowly increase this up to get just... Right, but see how it still takes away certain features? Some of these trees will disappear, and if I go really harsh, I will get a rock somewhere. If I keep doing this in this same spot and go straight up, there it is. And again, undo is your best friend sometimes. Alright, so you can still make minor adjustments later in little hills and that, but once you start doing big poops, yeah, it's gonna fuck it. Right? Now, it corrects it if it flats out, so let's say you go like this, right? Now, let's put this intensity at maximum so I can show you what I'm talking about. Right? There's the rock starting to appear. But if now I turn this into, say, like a hoodoo, it's only around the border, right? It's only that border. It's only on the slope. It's not going to be on the flat level stuff. That reverted back to tall nut as opposed to those rocks like that, right? See the difference? So bear that in mind doing your terraforming. Those rocks are just for the sharpness. That's it. Whatever, we'll keep it like that. We'll give them some hill to work on. Gives it some depth for now. Bracky number 1 is the guy I want to look for. There we go. Still happy with the tall nut. Alright, and keep watching their territories. Again, once I move this shit, their territory is going to be different because they got a big hole here. Alright, so let's find bracket number 1. Let's edit. And again, if I take away from the tall nut here and put this arid or barren, it's going to drop the other numbers. Alright, so arid and barren. And you can see up the top there, it's still got my Brachiosaurus highlighted. If I arid or barren this, you can see his percentages going up because it's within the territory. If I go into this place here, not in his territory, it's not going to increase really. Right? Once I go here, yeah, you can see his shit going up, right? And again, depending on what you're on, it tells you it's arid and it's cover. This one is swamp. This one is bog. But the swamp is wetland and cover, whereas the bog is only wetland. Right? So, this one he likes the cover, but he doesn't like the arid. So, if you don't want that arid, you're still getting arid in here. Now, this helps other dinosaurs, yes. But really, if you're thinking, why isn't his arid going up, or why isn't his cover going up quickly? Well, because part of this is arid. If you want full-on cover, you got to find something that only says cover. This is full-on cover. If I do this, that 39%, and all I did really was cover this, watch this. Look how quickly that went up. 64%, nearly double, right? Or whatever it is. Just in that little bit. It's because it's sharing it, so bear that in mind as well, too. Alright, so he's still missing cover. Still going to need some more cover. Wherever I want to put it. Won't bleed past the border. Alright. I'm good on cover, but no, I'm not. Look at my post. Whenever you think you're good, you're not. You need more. I want at least 150%. With my dinosaur obstructions on at the bottom here, if I switch to giant, I know it's giant because they're all highlighted white, right? When they have babies, the babies are not considered giants. Remember that. Mommy and Daddy will be able to pass this. Baby, not so much. Please keep that in mind. Baby dinosaurs are not the same size as their parents. Alright, so they're happy with all this. They're happy with that. They're happy with that. I got over 150% on everything. I just need wetlands. Bog, marsh. Alright, whatever. It doesn't matter. My best bet is one of these. I will get some cover. So I could take away from some of this and still get cover, you know what I mean? My cover will go down though, because that's pure cover, if that makes sense. Whereas this is wetlands and cover. So I can add cover that way, or just straight on wetlands that way, right? So I'm not going to make this pretty. I'm just going to make it so that they have what their needs are. Like, these are the types of things you need to take in consideration. You see that there? And again, this is all ugly. But that's only 70%, 76% of the wetland. Fuck me, they need a lot of that shit, right? You want to get that to 150? Well, shit, okay. Fuck, look at all that's used up for tall nut. There's all my cover, and well, yeah, maybe I do want to sort of cover and wetland. I don't know, maybe you want massive areas. But they're going to need to find it somewhere. I haven't put anything over here for them yet. Alright. I can. It's considered part of the territory, but I want to keep them off that for now. I want to, like I said earlier, just put them here. So, they still need this wetland. They still consider this part of the territory. I just want them to stay the fuck away from there. So I'm going to make it as enticing as possible to be over here. Right? I'll extend it beyond the borders of the territory. And again, that's just that Brachy's territory. Right? It might be different sometimes. You have to pay attention. Generally it's not. But if you cycle through all your dinosaurs here, see the territory? It's the same for all of them. They're all in the same group. But if you have multiple groups within that territory, it might be different. These ones all happen to be in the same group. And you can also see that with the population there, 10. When that says population 10, it doesn't mean 10 total across the whole island. In this case, it does right now, but it means within their little clique. You know what I mean? You could have two groups of raptors, one with a population of 7 and one with a population of 12. They're going to stick together. That's their fucking clan. You know what I mean? You have a clan of 2 different fucking clans of raptors. You got 20 whatever raptors total, but you got 2 sets of 10. 2 different territories, 2 different everything. They don't like to mix. They're still going to want the same territory. So yeah, you're going to have clashes of territories, right? So keep that in mind as well too. So I want to try and drive this. What do they need? They need water. So they're going to go that way to the water. Good. I don't want them to go on that land over there. So even though it's in their territory now, hopefully it will shrink later. Plus, once I get that aviary, I'm going to add some more shit there. That'll expand it as well. But for now, my only option really is to drive that way with the wetlands. Or anything that they need. Because I don't want them going over there. Other thing you can do... Oh, I gotta get on to number 1. Alright. I still want more wetlands because I want that to be 150%. The other thing you can do is you can paint near the water too. Alright, if you don't want all that shit here, you could paint tall nut here and it would count. Once it hits into the water though, it doesn't. And I'll show you what I mean here. So if we go with strict wetland of 114%, right on the shore here, I can still drag that into the water here. Alright, there's the deep water. I'm still dragging it, but they're not going to get credit for it. It will change what it looks like under the water. Like if this were... Let's say that's regular water instead of deep. Okay? And he wants wetlands. Well, it's under the water. Alright? I've made this wetlands. But let's change it to arid and cover. So watch the cover there. Alright, it's not going up, but you can see the little bit of green being added to under the water there. See that green? It's because it's cover. But because that cover is underwater, it will not increase it for the brachy. He still just sees that only as water. It doesn't matter if it's arid, tall nut, barren, cover, pasture, what the fuck that is there, it's water. See if we can get that back. So keep that in mind as well too. That's another crucial thing. And it also affects what your water looks like and whether you get the lily pads. And again, on desert, this is my first desert map. I don't know what it all does because I haven't experimented with, so it'll be interesting to see if it puts out anything unexpected. Alright, we're at 100%. And I gotta change this all to bog because it looks prettier than that fucking marsh shit. And by extending this bog out here, if I can't remember where my territory is, I can remember that, okay, the bog is on the outer bit of their territory there. And then that way I can check to see, oh, if the line's here, now I know. Yep, there, I just saw it move, I'm sure it did. There it goes, see? You can see how they're spreading out. I know they have to go that way. They can't go towards the corner. They can't go that way. That guy's over there. He really wants to hey, buddies! Buddies! There's some great fucking real estate over here. They're all like fucking looking at the barren shit. Like, what are you talking about? Go away, Bob. Anyways, yeah, you can see your territories. Eventually, it gets to the point where, yeah, they don't need any more. But we want 20 of these fuckers out here. Okay? So these guys are all happy with this. We're still going to need more talent. We're going to need more of this. We're going to need more of that. So you can just really fucking unload here. But the one thing we need more than anything else right now is a nest. Can't breed without a nest. Alrighty. Breeding. Tells you right there on the fertility tab. Requires large nest. Yep. Requires large nest. What it doesn't tell you here is what it's going to need as far as stipulations for that nest. And let me just look at my post again here. Fuck am I? Make room. Perfect. Okay, so every dinosaur has some sort of stipulation for their nest, and or a non-stipulation, but there's always a stipulation that you should be looking for, is what I should say. I'm sure I'm doing something on my tablet here. Hang on. Okay, so the stipulation for brackies are that they need a nest away from other nests. So, as I said before, where do you place it and all that all depends. I think for here, what I'd like to do is put a large nest off in this corner here. So that should take place of this stuff once I move it, I think. And what I'll do is actually... No, not make blueprint. Oh yeah, make blueprint. Yep, shit, that's right. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking and I'm talking a lot. So what I'm going to do is leave a nest here. But for now, I will put it right, I don't know, here. You need a nest away from the nest. So if I want multiple breeding bracts here, best option is to put a nest, say, somewhere over here, and on complete opposite side of the territory, right? Maybe in the middle, I don't know. It all depends. Where are you going to put your other things? You may change the nest. Don't worry too fucking much about it right now, especially at this point. Just bracts. We only got bracts. No, I need the large nest, and they need it away. So I'm going to go for super breeding, and I'm going to put down 2 large nests to start. Another little tip with a nest. Make your own. Okay, these ones are great, but they may not suit your territory. Like that rock, I might not want that color, right? I might not want those trees, the stump. I definitely don't want that sign. You know what I mean? So make your own. Go to custom design. You'll get this, and really all I want to do is cover up that fucking wood shit. For me, so up rocks or whatever. I've got some custom ones here, and I'll show you those. Custom design. Oh no, I guess it would be my blueprints. Where is it? Medium. So yeah, I've done a couple of medium ones here. Alright, there's that one. This is on my tropical map, so this looks better with the tropical rocks, right? Got that one. Covered it up with all that sort of shit, right? So yeah, I suggest making your own, turn it into a blueprint, and because it's going to be a desert map and it's going to have all the same sort of terrain looking type shit, it should blend in everywhere across your map no matter where you use it. Ah. Alright, so we want to go with this. We want to custom design it just because. We're going to put one right in the middle of the fucking swamp. And don't forget that. It kills your terrain. It flattens your terrain. Anything that was there before now gets turned to that shit. I put another nest right here. It's going to flatten this out. Oh yeah. Right? If I ever put it right there, it's going to kill the top of that thing. It's going to go right there and boom. Flatten that fucking thing out. Nest placements will do that every single time. So if you want your pretty little hill, you're not going to put a nest there. It'll kill it. Remember that. And we'll put it right here. See that arrow? It's where the babies need the less. For those just tuning in and don't know much, that's the way babies will leave the nest. The circle of wood there, they don't go back through that. They come out the front with that little right here. That's where they exit the nest from. You can see it's a clear path. So when you decorate around it, remember that babies are going to walk out that way on this nest. Oops. And you can see it, so if you forget, it's obvious, right? Dirt patch, that's the only problem. Look at that. Killed that. Guarantees puts dirt there. I really wish they would have made it so that it's like transparent. It just, whatever was underneath it, because you can redo it, right? Like if I want, I can go back in here. I can go back and put that freaking, right? I can still do it around it. It's all great and fine and dandy. They're happy with that. So why not just leave it in the first place? I don't understand why that can't still be bogged, you know what I mean? But I can still come here and put the bog back, right? If I want that nest in the middle of the bog with the water and everything, I can put it back. But yeah, when you first put it down, if you haven't or if you've already terraformed and you put it down, it's going to kill whatever you did. So you can put it down first, which you never want to do because you don't know how big this is going to be. I didn't know how big 20 bracks are going to need. This still might be wrong. I still might need to move them, right? Okay. See the happy face? Green. Yay. Unoccupied. And they will definitely use it. If that goes to yellow, it doesn't mean they won't use it. They still will use it. If it goes to red, it may not necessarily mean they won't use it. There is still a chance when that's red, they will use it. The reasons for going yellow and red are dependent. We'll get into that later with other species, but there's reasons it goes red and yellow and all that. It still doesn't mean don't fret. It doesn't mean that you're fucked. They will still possibly use that nest for reasons explained later. Okay, so we've got 2 nests. If you want, I like to label them so I know what they are. I don't know, I'd call it like corner large or whatever. I try not to name it with the species anymore because migrations happen. These brackies might be across the river next fucking week, right? I don't know, maybe they all leave. Maybe the fucking raptors scare them out of here or some shit. Who knows? Alright, that's it. It's just let them go, let them breed, get them up to 20. And this can be boring for some people. So I think what I'll do is I'll just play this on my own here for a bit. See if anyone's in here and got questions first. And then later on tonight, I will probably pop on with more of the bracks and continue on through my guide. Because I don't want to skip steps and all that. I want this all to be straight through. And my step says get to a full population breeding before I do anything else. So I'll pop that on there. We'll take a boo. Alright. if you can remember all these dinosaurs, look at their comfort. There's my territory. Right, extends out to the same for everybody because they're all in the same herd. Oh, see that little glitch of rocks over there, right? Here, when it gets to territory. Ah, that is so stupid. Frontier, come on. Oh no, rocks! Whatever will I do? I'm a Brachiosaurus. Ah,
there are moments when working with dinosaurs
Shut
that
up, Doctor!
Well,
Doctor, there is
leave
no
you in
doctor
awe.
here.
Finding eggs in a
Okay,
nest
so I
is
know
one
that for
such
my 10
moment.
bracks, they're happy with that. Does that mean that double it is going to work for 20? No, it doesn't work like that. They won't need double that size. Don't worry about it. Just keep them going, and then compare it once all 20 are out. They will not need double the size. Again, don't forget, they've got all this area over here that they're not using at all. This Bob is trying to get them to fucking come over here. Nobody wants to come over here. But that's still part of their territory. Right? If that makes sense. So they're very happy with that. If I keep this bear, hopefully they'll shift it there. But right now, Bob has decided otherwise. Alright, Bob. Alright, I'm gonna check chat like I said I was. See if anyone's got questions. Nope, nobody's viewing. That's all good. Hopefully it won't take too long to get to 20. Cover's a little low. It's all good. Oh, look at that. Fucking breeding already. Oh, which way is north and which way is south on this map? Alright, dusk is, where is that corner? Dusk. So that's gonna be, where's the fucking corner exactly? This way, or straight. That's straight. So that's probably west that way. South, east, and therefore that's north. Right? Am I on dusk? I don't even know where I am. Yep, dusk. See, no option for dawn. That's what always got me too. Why? Ooh, I'm curious what the night looks like here. Without lights. And all those damn trees and forest. It's just so fucking... Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, Bob, nobody cares. Alright, I'm just going to leave it run. I'm going to go have a smoke break. My complexity is at 1% already because they're bracks, just so you know. They take up huge complexity. But I'm going to put it on capture mode, cinematic. Change this back to day action. Alright, I'm going to set on capture mode, let it run, go have a smoke, and then come back and see what we've got as far as dinosaurs. Nope. Alright, capture mode it is. Alright, see what we can see. I'll be back in a bit. If anyone's on and they got questions, drop them in chat. I'll check before I get going. We'll see how many dinos we get to. Baby! There's the first baby! Look at it! Hee hee hee. Well, that was quick. Quick and easy with the bracks. Okay, let's get up to 20. Alrighty, I'm back. That should be sufficient time now. Let's see what we're at here. Hang on. About a half an hour, 20 minutes or so that I've been letting them go. Okay, let's go to my post and see where I am in that. Part 2. Get up to 20 bracks, breed, watch, check out what's going on, nest down. So we'll still need to get up to 20 bracks because I don't think all my babies have even matured yet. Introduce different species. The territory expands, you'll probably need to tweak some terrain, which is what I'm going to do here. You're quite low on tall nut, because the bench has been introduced and now established. Next, smaller herbivores. Let's continue my next post, because requiring rest or coffee. Okay, I need food too, actually. I'm going to make dinner here in probably about an hour or so, a little less. Maybe half hour, or whatever it is, so I will be cutting this video off here. So far we've covered part 1 and part 2 of my guide. Pardon me. Okay, so while I'm still playing, I'm going to show you some stuff here. Okay, so what the whole goal of this, first species, get them to breed. Well, fuck. As soon as I made the area good for them and they were all happy with it, they bred like instantaneously. Okay, so let's see if anything has changed breeding-wise. Still happy with that nest, and I know there's not going to be any change because there's no reason to. Oops, where's my nest? There it is. Still happy with that nest, alright? Also cycle through your nest, however, it doesn't cycle through it because, watch this. It's my settings from before. If you go back to focus on building on, now when I select this nest, and if I want to go to the next nest, now it'll flip me over there. If you don't want that, that's why that's off for me. So that's why my setting... Where did it go? Where did it go? Building. Thank you. So that's why I see, as I go like that... Oh, did I change it? Focus on building off. Okay. See, now it's not, it's just staying at this nest. But it still shows me the info, I can still go through all that crap. So. That blocked. Right? Why that says blocked? Could be a bunch of reasons. However, it's because someone has bred recently and etc, etc, etc. Okay, Bob. How you doing there, Bob? You got any kids? Oh yeah. Holy shit. So we've got 15 there. Okay, so Bob's my #1 brack. Bob's the one I was using to check out all the tall nut percentages, etc, etc. So now let's check out Bob's territory. And if you remember from before, it was just past that line there, right? But now with all these other bibbies and other stuff, everything's expanded, even over here. Okay, so there's still more territory over here as well too. Right, we can see that with this dinosaur, that one. Once you're on one brachy, you can cycle through all your brackies, right? Really quick. If you do it really quick, you can see if the territory changes for any of them, if they're in a different herd for some reason. The only thing you can't cycle through is when you're checking this. I'm trying to cycle through right now, but I can't cycle through any bracks. I have to get on something else, cycle, and then go back. You know what I mean? I can cycle here. I can cycle here. Cycle here. Cycle. 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 But I get to the breeding shit and I can't cycle through dinosaurs. We're shit. So, if I can't cycle through it, that's why. Pardon me. Okay, so my largest number is Bob to... Okay, so I've had 16, I want 20, so I need another 4. What I'll just do is I'll pop another 4 out. Give me my 20. Those babies will grow up soon enough.
Complete. Incubation person.
And it doesn't really matter as far as male, female, take your pick. You got a whole mess of them right now, so... As long as you got I'd say go at least one of each. Like, I'll turn one of these into a male. Doesn't matter. One male, one female. That way, one son, one daughter gets a breeding chance, right? Not that it matters with bracts, because they're not monogamous, so you can inbreed in the sense of different mothers, which I covered earlier. Alright, release those fuckers. Get 2 more out there. Perfect. And maximum's 18.
Prepare asset for release.
Speed this shit up. Maximum's 18, but because I got babies, it means 18 adults. So you can breach above that.
Ladies and gentlemen, from a brachiosaurus
Dinosaur threat. Where's the dinosaur threat? What's happening here? Oh, baby, something happened to a baby. Oh, danger to guess shit. See, that's... I don't get that shit. What guess? It's because of the fucking path and all that shit, and the arrival point, and it's near it, and oh, fuck off. It's stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Okay, so now our next thing after getting up to 20 bracts... 20 out there. They should join the same herd. There should be no reason not to.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a brachiosaurus to the park.
Alright, so we've got 20 out there. So I want to look for the picky one. See if any of them are picky. Where are my traits? There we go. See if and again, look on anyone without accommodating. I know Bob is my go-to for this, so I'm just trying to see if anybody's got... Oh, maybe there. No. Okay, I don't see any negative. Okay, so yay, we successfully breed. We successfully get 20. We successfully are having them happy. So let's find Bub. Bub, where's your territory at? This tab shows you the area. Beauty. Well, now let's look and see what's happened. Okay. All the new additions, and we still got babies out there. Remember, we don't have full-grown adults. Adults and babies have different needs, just like they have different... Right? We talked about this. Giant dinosaurs. The babies are not giant. If they were, they'd be white. So, what are the babies? Well, let's go down. Yep, they're considered large. So now, don't forget, this is where water and barriers and all that shit comes in handy. Knowing what they do, because if these guys, let's say this ecosystem's complete. Let's say we got a batch of T-Rex right here. 2 T-Rex, couple set up, they're breeding, they're good to go. If they pushed all the bracts out right now, let's say fuck it, let's get the fuck out of Dodge, the T-Rex are coming in, we're getting out, we're moving across the river because they can't touch us. Well, the babies are fucked, right? You can see, yellow. They ain't getting across that. Parents, no problem. Well, so, that knowledge tells you, hey, if I put T-Rex here and let them drive them out, it's going to drive out the adults for sure. They'll most likely all cross. Babies are going to get stuck here and picked off. They will be stranded away from the adults. They will not be able to cross over. Just be aware of that. Now, Right? And again, if you don't know what the dinosaur is, you can just cycle through it. Tiny. No, nothing here is white. No, no small. No medium. Oh, there's a large. If I had, say, like an Allosaurus somewhere, it'll show as, boom, it'll be white, right? And then giant, ding, there's all the adults. Yeah. So yeah, what can they cross? They can cross that river, no problem. So, watching all this, I know now, go back to Bob. Bob, let's just unpause it. After I've got 20 out there with, what, half a dozen or so juveniles, I figure. And I can't remember how much the juveniles, percentage-wise, territory needs, etc. I don't know what the percentage is there, so I don't worry about it. I just treat the juvenile needs as if they're adults. So when the juvenile's out there, these numbers are going to get misleading, because these numbers will drop again when they hit adults. They're going to need more room, they're going to need more stuff, right? So Bob stays at this 104. As long as this territory size stays the same and covers the same shit, which it will, right? Because they're not going out, they're not leaving. Like, once in a while, they'll come over here, but there's nothing over. Remember? We left all that area blank. There's nothing for them over here. Water, and then arid. Pardon me. So, what I've learned, like, and again, I'm treating this as if it's just me following my guide. I already know how dinosaurs act and shit like that. So, here's what I learned by doing this setup and putting my bracks here. Okay, I know I'm in a corner, and I know they can't move this fucking way. Boom. I can guess which way they're going to migrate when and if they migrate. Fair enough. I can guess what's going to happen if I put dinosaurs here that are carnivores, or if I put dinosaurs there that are herbivores, or if I leave it open, or if I expand this. I can guess what's going to happen within reason. Alright, so once all these guys, again, we want 150 cover, 150 tall, 150 water, 150 wetland. I know I'm not going to need to worry about water. They'll cross the river, they're all fine. The babies have plenty of water. Right? Look at the water difference. $9.99 there. Well, it's going to be... Whereas this guy here, for whatever reason, these two... See, and this is what I talk about weird behaviors and shit. See, they've formed their own herd now. And I can tell that because in their herd, right there, population 2. That's the herd population. I know I've got 20 sauropods out there. So these two have formed their own herd over here. They've now left it for whatever reason. Whether or not they'll go back into the herd or not, like the main herd over there, I don't know. It's all random shit sometimes. The weirdest stuff will happen. They may have decided, hey, we're about to grow up. Fuck it, we're on our own. We're teenagers. We know everything. We're going to move out. Boom. Oh, look at all this shit you're moving into. Nothing. They ain't going to be very happy there for long. You can already see their comfort is crap. They're going to need to find it. They don't want to stay in a place they completely hate that much. It wouldn't be so bad if the numbers were higher and they had some of this and some of that. At least they could be satiated for a while. But they're not going to like this here. They're either going to end up dying if they don't move back, because I ain't making shit for them here. It ain't going to happen. I'm already setting up their territory. If they don't like it over there, too fucking bad. Later on, I'm going to have more super territories, and it'll work out that, yeah, I don't give a fuck. But right now, as it stands, these guys are just going to fucking die off. There's no food to eat. There's nothing. They can't live. They will die. So, what I know is, after watching these guys for the past half hour, and the babies and all that sort of shit, I know I need more stuff in there, right? This Brachy has got all this, but Bob is the least happy of them, right? So you look for your smallest numbers. 128 cover. Okay, well, is there anything smaller than 128? I can quickly cycle through here. And other than those freaks, I can see by looking at the screen. No, it's all about 128. So the lowest number I've got so far is 128, which is Bob. So we'll stick with him until we find someone who's got a negative type trait that affects their territory worse. You know what I mean? Pardon me. Okay, so we definitely need more cover. We definitely need a little bit more tall nut, I think. And we're good on water. We're good on wetland. But I do want to tweak this, and I want to run the wetland, I think, along the river. Alright, so that it blends in a bit better. And another reason I'm going to do that, and I'll show you why, is controlling population here. Okay, so if we look at Bob. Alright, what does he need? He needs water to drink. Got it, no problem. We're never going to have a problem with water with any of our dinosaurs ever. I don't have to worry about water. Just placement of it in bare areas, in far off lands, blah, blah, blah. So I don't have to worry about the water. What else does he need to live? Food. Alright, that's it. Only two things they need to live are water and food. Hang on 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to talk to my daughter. Alrighty. I think the mic's on. I don't even fucking know. Maybe the mic's been off the whole time. I'm not listening to my stream, so I might have the whole fucking thing off here. That's hilarious. Hang on, I gotta ask my daughter about dinner. Alright, sorry. I had to talk to my daughter about dinner. Okay, so Bob. Where was I? Oh yeah, okay, so what do they need? They need water to live and they need food to live. The rest of the shit is just territorial desires. Think of it that way. It's like a luxury item. They don't need cover. They do need cover. They need cover to evade the predators, and if they're in cover, they don't get attacked, and yada yada yada. So they do need the cover in that sense to evade predators. Okay, so the cover is the predator evasion. Tall nut's the food. The water is the water. The wetland is the key environmental issue here. The wetland is not required in the sense that it doesn't eat out of it, it doesn't drink out of it, it doesn't do anything other than it wants it. Alright, now that is crucial knowledge in the sense that you can create borders with it. Territorial borders. Not borders that'll keep shit out, but it will keep certain things out to an extent, and I'll show you what I mean by that later, but it's quite complex. But I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Okay, so we know out of the four things he wants cover, protection from predators, tall nut, food, water, drink. Perfect. Okay, he needs those three things to be happy and survive. Protection, food, water. Wetlands is like the luxury. So he doesn't need it, but he's got to have it, no matter what. It's got to be there. It's part of the mechanics of the game. So, with that in knowledge, if you remember correctly, they've got this huge territory here, right? It expands over to here, and quite a bit into here, and it's because of just the way radiuses work and shit like that with circles and mechanics, and it's all circular and blah, blah, blah. Territories sort of pulse, depending on where they'll move within them, but generally, over the past half hour, 45 minutes, all these bracks, except for these two freaks, Larry and Mo over there, Tweedledee, Tweedledum something, they've all stayed over here. Now, you'll notice there was a time I saw about it, because I watched when I was on my break. A whole bunch of them went in the water. I assume they went and got drink, or they're cooling down, even if that... I don't know if that's a factor or not in this, cooling down. Be interesting if it is or not. But anyways, a whole bunch of them went in the water and all that. Some of them, and at the beginning you'll notice Bob, remember, Bob was all over here. I said, you ain't going to like it there, Bob. So they do wander over here because it's part of their territory. They do like to explore their own territory and go around and get whatever needs satisfied. So they'll want to eat, they'll want to drink, they want to feel safe, and right now they don't really need that in the sense that, yeah, they're not predated upon, so they're going to have cover because they need to have cover, but it's not a necessity right now. There's no predation. When we put a carnivore out there and they start eating them, yeah, they're going to really enjoy that cover. But the wetlands is, yeah, we just need to be in it once in a while and look around. So, with this here, let's call this little area, and I'm going to outline it just by moving around. Let's call that square area their territory, right? You can see the approximate border, right? So that big, we'll call that a square area. There's not much shit going on here. Why? There's nothing there. Nothing. Barren. Alright? Barren shit. Maybe a little bit of cover. Let's see what's there. Yeah, a little bit of cover with the rocks and bushes or whatever the fuck that is. Yeah, rocks. So a little bit of cover they got over there. Alright? But
Death
nothing else. No
is as
food,
much a part of nature's cycle
Shut the
as
fuck
life.
Up, Luis. Why do you
it's
talk?
a crucial
you
element
the
of
entire
any
time I was taking a
ecology.
break.
But that doesn't make it any less sad.
Yeah, well, they're dumbasses. If it's these two that died, yeah, you dumbass. I wonder why you're dead. See, this is what doesn't make sense sometimes, right? You're gonna get weird shit happen that makes zero sense. Why did they leave? They're fine. Who knows? Maybe it had something to do with the population amount? I don't know. Maybe it's because they were over that 20, and they said, fuck it, herd. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Look at our herd, population 18. So, maybe that's what it is. I've never really... No, I'm sure on my last ecosystem I had a population of 20. I'm sure the herd population said 20. I think those two just fucked off and made their own thing. But it is also possible that once they reached 18, and I forced 20 with the hatchery, that 2 got forced out somehow. Wonder which numbers they were. Let's see. Could be crucial if they were the firstborn babies. 13 and 14. Well, they're not the firstborn babies, but they're some of the firstborn baby batch. So 12 was the first juvenile. Oh no, maybe 11 was. What happened to 11? Oh, there it is. That's weird. Why is it not in order? Hey, regardless. Okay, so 2 of them left the herd, they're dead, they're boom, boom. So there's our square little territory. Now, back to the wetlands thing. Okay, so why didn't they come over here? Well, they got nothing to go over here for. So you can use that to create little mini borders. All this wetlands here is needed, but you could also put it in the sense of a border. Like if I left it here, alright, their territory expands up to, say, the end of the wetlands here, but they don't really need it. They're going to want to stay around this shit, the food, and the water. So I know no matter what, if I had the wetlands here, they'll spend some time in here, but they really don't want to venture this way. You know what I mean? They don't want to come out this way. Unless they're forced out and they need food because everyone else is taking over the shit or there ain't enough or whatever reason, you could use that as like a territorial border in the sense that it sort of deters them from moving away from the food. Like, I want the bracts to stay here. My goal with this is to get them to breed and see how they react and yada, yada, yada. But I want to see if I can try and get my bracts to stay in this area the entire time. I want to make a perfect brack area. They will venture out, and I'm going to want them spread out, and I may change my mind. But for now, my goal is try and keep the bracts alive forever in this area. See what happens. All right, so with that in mind, this, again, right, I can prevent them from wanting to go this way because there's nothing out there for them. If I started putting food here, and if I, on this side of the river right now, because it's in their territory, right, if within that blue shit I started, oh, let's dab some food here, and you're going to see more action over here, right? Still their territory. The only thing that's changed is now there's food over here. So they'll disperse over here, and they'll fuck off over here, they'll wander around here and into the wetlands and come back over here, and yada, yada, yada. So you could use the territory paint, or the terrain paint, rather, that isn't a necessity, the ones that are luxuries, like wetland or whatever, that doesn't provide cover, it doesn't provide whatever. You can use that as sort of a deterrent from saying, hey, I don't want you guys to sort of head this way. If you could, please, thank you, just sort of stay in this area. Keep going that way, right? And since I've got border here, I know they can't go this way, I know they can't go that way. So if this was, say, in the middle of the map and I wanted to create that border, I could wetlands all the way across here like that, right? If that makes sense. So that would deter them from pushing out that way. Whereas the food, the water, and when predators are out, especially the cover, they're going to want to drive towards that. All the time with the food, all the time with the water, and when they need to hide. So they will drive towards that. They don't drive towards this shit for any reason. They just need it in their territory. So, And again, every species is different. They all got different luxury, food, water. It's all the same for herbs. Like, they have something you can lay down for food. Water is the same for everything. Carnivores, herbs, piscivores. Water acts as, deep water acts as piscivore food as well, too. They can fish out of it without a feeder. Deep water. Boom, I could chuck down a spino here. He could eat out of here. He's going to eat the brackies because he's still carnivore. He'll still fucking hunt. But at least he's got that option. If he was stranded and killed all the brackies, he would still live because he's got shit to hunt here in the form of fish. Right? So piscivores can eat in here in the deep water. And all the herbs, they have to have some sort of terrain paint. Carnivores, no, you don't terrain paint food. This is your food. Pardon me. Okay, so going back to the guide, and we're going to have to stop here soon because I'm going to need to feed my daughter. She needs food to live, apparently. She's always complaining about it. I don't get it. Anyways, bunch of whiners. Use that information to alter your territories or alter your thinking of where do I put what? How do I put this down? I've just created a barrier, quote unquote, that will keep my bracks at bay, hopefully. Pushing them there, having nothing over here keeps them over here. You know what I mean? So I think the first part of getting the herbs down, as far as sauropod 1, 20, breeding, yes, I know I'm not going to have any problem with breeding. They're successful. All I'm going to want to do right now is find the least happy dinosaur. And honestly, I want to wait for all my juveniles to grow up, just in case something glitchy happens with their traits, you know what I mean? Maybe they grab aggressive. I don't think so. I've seen all, like, negative aggressive, I've seen, like, aggressive genes on juvenile, like, raptors and shit before, so I know it happens at birth, but I don't want any glitches. If there's a glitch, he grows up and all of a sudden he's got an aggressive gene or some shit like that, or an appetite, or something happens negative-wise, then yeah, I want to be on top of it. But generally, they're born with the negative traits, and you'll be able to see it. So, Bob, like I say, is got the lowest needs of everybody. This baby's completely happy, as you can tell. So yeah, you usually want to stick to the adults. There we go. This one has now got way less cover for some reason. Alright. So there's a nice low one to look at. And if I look at Bob, he's probably the same. Yeah. Because we know Bob's the lowest number. If we look at that red number, if I scroll slowly through all the dinos, 91 is the lowest number. Now that's dropped because of the 20 dinosaurs and all sorts of shit. Right? Want to get that back up above. Right? Red hearts show you what it needs. Oh, now it's popped up. Why is it popped up? Something's going on. Here's the deal with that shit. So when you see territorial, and this has, again, been complained about in Reddit, and rightfully so, because when you see that shit, you're like, what the fuck is going on? Okay, well, they're moving around, and they're checking out areas, and there are new dinosaurs. I did release 4, and it hasn't really been too much time, but it's given enough time to sort of wander again. They've now lowered their territory here, right? So they've lost some shit. That's why the cover's gone down. They've lost this territory here. Before it came over to here. But for some reason, they've decided to start moving this way. I'm not 100% sure why, right? Maybe it's just random, like those two babies, they wanted to check out what's going on here. I don't know why. There's no reason for it. They've got it all here. But I've added a lot more, plus babies are growing up. Oh, are they all grown up now? No, they can't be. Where are my babies? See how old they are. Oh, no, they are. No, that's why then. Okay, well, there you go. All the babies are grown. Not a single juvenile there. Pardon me again. Holy smokes. Okay, so he's expanded. Okay, so babies are grown up now. Now let's cycle through them all. Bob is the lowest one at 106. And we cycle through them all. Bob's our best bet. I will stick with Bob. All the other ones look good. They're all adults now. I've got how many of them? 18. Max herd pop. So it shouldn't be able to have babies, and that will be why this here is blocked. Unable to get more than 18. Blocked. So now you can watch them for a little bit longer. We've got the full adult set. They bred. They will die off. Once some of them die off, they'll start to breed. Open slots for breeding. They'll probably stay in the same area. Check your territories. Where are they moving from? Look, I can tell it's changed. Well, it's changed for reasons. New dinosaurs, 2 of them have died off. So they're going to wander, they're going to move. Why are they moving? Where are they moving? Where do they really stick to? Stick to food. Stick to water. Luxury. Protection. Right? Notice how when they lost the protection, even though there's no dinosaurs predating, they still got unhappy about it. Okay, so what I want to do now that I've got 18 out there, or the 20, or whatever the max would be, see, watch, see how they're all going over here? We're bigger, we need a little bit more room, we're checking it all out, we're scoping, we're going. Right? But eventually they'll turn back. There's nothing for them there, there's water, they'll grab it, and once, as soon as they get hungry, since it's in their territory, they'll wander back there. The issue, and you'll see this with stuff like compies that run amok when they get introduced. Like, blah, 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 they just go fucking nuts. If they go nuts, and like if these sauropods just for whatever fucking reason say, oh, there's a border, we're just going to keep heading this way and die. If for whatever reason they decide to do that, there's nothing you can do to stop them. It doesn't matter. I don't know why they do it. It's a weird thing sometimes. But the rule of thumb for you should be, they will stick around that food, they will stick around that water, and they will stick around that fucking cover. Alright? They're going there, they're resting. Okay, well, maybe they just want to rest out in the sun. I don't know. Again, maybe it's a warming up thing. I don't fucking know if that's a mechanic. Alrighty, heading back. Nothing for them there. Right? Plop a bit of food down there. It's going to keep a few of them hanging out there. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here. That's parts 1 and 2 of the guide covered. We got sauropods to breed. We learned a lot about it. We learned about terrain, all that sort of shit. And just so you know, this was unnecessary here. I used it just to create a little blank area. I only really need that fucking hatchery and that arrival point. This is useless right now. I could keep it way the fuck over there. It doesn't matter what I do with that. I could delete it. It doesn't matter. But it'll change this territory as well, too. Once I delete that, maybe I'll do that right now before I leave. And let's say I wanted a nest here. And I'll do that, too, actually. Let's say I decided I want a nest here. Yeah, I want a nest for the birds. Do it now. Delete the hatchery. Delete that. Flying reptile stays. Again, change my terrain. But now watch these sauropods. That's now insta territory for them. See how it wraps around those buildings? So if you've got buildings or rocks or anything that's blocking that territory and you decide to remove them, that's going to boom open for him. So let's find Bob here. Pause it for a second. Cover is a little different, right? Shit's probably different. I should have actually paid more attention, but you can see that. Fuck, give me a dino. Right there, bottom right corner. Sorry. Find one close to it. Of course, none of them are close to it. There, close enough. Bottom right, you can see how it's indented there. Remember how we went out more? All that cover was in there. I placed it. It was seen, but we still want that at 150. So we want to make sure, if you do something like that, get rid of that aviary and put the nest there and block it or whatever. We want to make sure that they still got their needs met. And right now, that cover is saying no. I mean, they're fine. right? Cover is not negative for anything. 103 for the lowest for Bob, but I wanted 150. I want it up there because I'm going to start adding herbs later, different species, and this is going to go down again because I'm going to change with this, and I might want to trickle some stuff in here and trickle thing in there. This is not a super territory. This is just one little mini territory that's going to be part of a super territory. What I'm going to do with my super territory is just fill it out this way so you can see how big a super territory needs to be before it's considered a super territory. Because I'll have sauropods and then the other species as well too in there. So once that's done, you'll be able to say, okay, well my first territory has got all these species. Here's approximately how big it is on here. They're all happy, everything's going, they're breeding. So my next one's going to take about the same amount of room. Where do I put it? Well, if you want to start over here, you'll know, okay, well, it's going to take to say, whatever, out to here. Or if I want to start in this corner, I can start right in the corner, and it'll probably extend to about here. So once your first super territory is done, and again, it all depends on the species, and everything wants a certain amount of room, and everything, and big dinosaurs, and blah, 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 blah. But once it's done, you get a good idea of how much room it's going to take up on your map. Now, that's crucial because you're going to need 6 of these fucking things. Alright, 1 for each of the big fucking sauropods. And you're going to need to leave room for your carnivores to get introduced. And some carnivores can have some fairly big area needs, some not so much. But this is where leaving it at 150 is a good number because it's going to shrink when you put other dinos in here. This all looks fine now, but as soon as I put down, say, an iguanodon or some other shit, and I start taking away some of this stuff, which I cover later in the guide as well, too. Once I start doing that, yeah, it gets a little different, and territories shrink and change and blah, 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 blah. But it all depends how many dinosaurs you want. Again, on PCs, you're going to have a lot easier time with whatever your computer can handle. Whereas consoles, you're going to have to make a choice. You've got all those sauropods out there. Think of it this way. 20 full-grown sauropods. If you were to bypass the limit, let's go with 20. 6 different sauropods, 120. You want to be 250 to 300 dinosaurs before you start putting in carnivores. So right off the hop, just by putting in sauropods on console, you've got half of the amount of dinosaurs that I suggest you have before you hit carnivore time. And that's only from sauropods. 6 species. You don't have any fucking iguanodon, mutas, no fucking paras, nothing. No anks, no fucking triceratops, no stegos, nothing. Just sauropods. And that's already half if you had the full herd thing going on. So that's where carnivores come in and they start thinning herds. But you still want a good established herd perpetuating the species. You want a good amount of bracks left, but you don't want to kill them all. You want them to keep going, but you don't want to fucking stifle your complexity meter. You know what I mean? So maybe you don't want bracks. You can sacrifice 1 sauropod to get a few extra smaller species or a couple more carnivores. You know what I mean? So as you build your ecosystem, if you're on console, pay attention to what's going in there. Bracks and babies are huge. Babies will make it fluctuate up and down, but the good thing is babies will get eaten and babies will grow up and babies will this and babies will that. Babies are a good fluxing of that complexity meter. But you have to pay attention later on. Like right now, 20 bracks, I'm at 2%. I've done nothing. I've got a couple of buildings. I've got some terrain and all that. Big ass rock. Nothing. I've done nothing, but I'm at 2% already. And all I've got is 18 bracks. Full grown. Right? Okay, I'm going to leave that here. This video, I don't know how long it's up for, a week or something. I'll probably come on later tonight and start working on it as well, too. I might just skip into some of it. I don't know. I said I'd do this while you're here, so I think I will do that, and I won't stream, or I'll make sure to stream everything. I'll just leave it exactly like this, and we'll show up right where we left off. But yeah, pay attention to what your dinosaurs are doing. Why aren't they over here? What do they want? And where can they go? Well, they can go that entire fucking map. Well, what do they want? They want food, they want water, they want cover, they want wetlands. The crucial part, food, cover, water. Wetlands, luxury, right? Find your luxury item and use it as a barrier to say, hey, you can expand, but don't go that way. If I put all my wetlands in the middle and all my food out on the corner here, odds are this part of the territory here, they won't be interested anymore. Like it'll probably shrink out and they'll expand this way, and now that blue line will come out this way more, right? So that's how you can judge what they're going to do with territories. And then, yeah, you're going to get anomalies. And one of the weird anomalies I've seen is elderly seem to just... They leave the territory when they get real elder, they're about to die, and it's almost like they sense, okay, there needs to be room for the new babies, so I'm going to fuck off, leave the territory, and let everybody have a little bit more room. It's the weirdest thing. Like I say on my tropical map, I've got that Oviraptor graveyard. I have all sorts of dinosaurs flock to this graveyard and die. It is the weirdest shit. But one thing I have noticed is, yeah, elderly, and I don't know, again, it could be coincidence, and it's just me happen to see it because I'm not watching every single dinosaur every second of the build, but yeah, elderly seem to sort of fuck off out of the territory. And I've seen it with sauropods, I've seen it with orniths, like, I've seen it with all sorts, right? So pay attention to what your dinosaurs do on your map, and I don't know if it's a map-related thing, I don't know if it's the way you lay out your terrain, I don't know if it's a glitch, I don't know what it is that makes the dinosaur do weird, anomalous things, but they will. And you'll notice it on your builds, 100%. Why the fuck are they doing that? Well, sometimes there's no answer to that question, my friends. Okay, I'm going to leave it there now, sign her off. Thanks for watching, hopefully you learned something. Hopefully this is helping people. I don't think I'm wasting my breath because I've seen some people be very happy with this info, and I hope it's helping you. Sorry, I'm talking and planning shit at the same time. I really shouldn't be. I sound like an idiot. Yeah, I hope it's been helpful and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. We'll keep this up for as long as we can. Who knows, I may have to redo another one eventually, do a Mediterranean or something, but I'm going to do the desert here for now. All this shit's going to get redone for sure because they're going to lower the terrain. Like I say, try to get as much of that terrain done first. I know I didn't do that step, but I just wanted to get right into it so you can see the dinosaur territory. Because people have a lot of problem with areas and territories and what do they need and why are they doing this shit, and I don't get it, and it doesn't make sense, and why are they fucking off the territories? Well, sometimes some weird shit happens, and sometimes it's because of what you're doing, right? So hopefully this helps change that. Alright. Thanks for watching. Enjoy. Oh yeah, and post pics of your, when I post my next post, part 6, post pics of your ecosystems. I'd love to see them. I get so inspired by seeing other people's builds. Today when I was commenting a couple of posts, yeah, they're jungle ruins. There was 2 of them. They're beautiful. Just some gorgeous shit there. And it gives me ideas too, right? Like it helps. Yeah, fuck, I like that. I'm going to do that here. Or, oh, that would, you know what I mean? You get creative. Boost from watching people. Sorry, again, talking and thinking at the same time. I got to stop. Oh yeah, desert. What autosave did it do? Oh, I don't even see the autosave there. Oh, please tell me I got it on. Alright. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll be back on later, hopefully. Got questions next time? Put them in the chat. I don't always look and I'm not always watching and I'm probably blah blah blahing. But I'll try to answer any questions about ecosystems. Ciao for now. Bye. Enjoy your day, night, afternoon, breakfast, dinner, lunch, whatever it is you have. Enjoy it.